Yeah, they set it up. And you guys are like in on it. And
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Yeah. I take a closer look, but do not touch it.
Again, it's about yay big, beautifully carved, smells like fresh cedar. Like it's very aromatic with that almost sweet wood smell, and clearly hand carved, handcrafted.
oh my God.
The lid slides off. It's carved into grooves on top of the box.
Could be a mirror in there.
Okay, who did that?
My bad. I just
Who
saw a
did
card. I thought it was cool. I was not supposed to click that.
This is why we don't let you drive the car.
It was just like, cool, there's cards.
And it was the void too. That's like,
Oh.
let's say Mia Hethil, because he's right in the middle of 3-player characters. So, you know, him in particular.
I take it the burning didn't kill it.
Yeah, roll 1d10, but it's fire resistant, so. Bonk.
Where is Mr. Reaction with a ward guy?
He used it. That shit's gone.
Oh, gone for
Bonk.
forever?
Well, until his next long range. A long rest.
La 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 la. La la la.
Don't need no words. We're dealing with these fucking idiots.
That should be one of your sub sounds on your channel.
It should be. Really should be.
Well, so much for my terrifying monster. Guess I'll just, you know, die.
Pulls pin, throws pin.
So what does the hungry dark feel like? Do you smell anything?
I don't know if it's what I'm smelling, but it often smells a little bit like baked goods.
Well, that sounds lovely.
That
Like,
does not.
like cinnamony.
Ariana, no.
It's called the hungry dark.
Not hungry for the food. Hungry for dark.
But it's weird that it smells like something good. If it's
Wait.
supposed to be bad.
Are you hungry dark affiliate too? Ariana?
Huh?
Because you smell food all the time.
But I'm just hungry. I don't think I'm dark. Ariana's like also entertaining this as well as she's like going back and forth with Garnet about all these different possibilities of like, oh yeah, no, what if Uncle is a turtle?
What?
Mason speaks up. It's
Like,
like,
just
well,
random stuff.
both of your brains are already in the right place for this. This is going to go great. I'm really looking forward to it. More so now, actually.
Good.
Okay, let's go find Ethelure.
Ariana has like visibly perked up a lot from this conversation. Having a hard day at classes, hard day at school, but ooh, more day now. Hold
you
on
have
a
ghosts in
second.
your blood and you should do cocaine about it.
Yes.
And the Marid, this genie, shouldn't be able to arrive here. Ioth Academy is still technically protected by the dome, even if it's weakened. But it caught... I know, yeah, most protected place on Earth. Been attacked 12 times this year. Sue me.
Yeah. Safe, smile.
Exactly. Any safers in chat? But the Marid essentially hitchhiked on that pole of magic. When the water elemental came up, it sort of followed along with it. It drafted behind it, and that's how it was able to arrive. And there's your natural 20.
I just like the part where you say you came down a pole. I just stuck to that. Elemental strippers. Fuck.
Can I get fan art of Duba Seif pole dancing, please? I'm going to file a request for that.
Duba Queen.
God.
Duba cheeks.
Someone had picked him up and you were carrying him back. And you were going to figure out what to do with the pants, either try and break him out of the pants or turn them back to normal. There was a lot to the...
relatively soft, so getting him out of the pants shouldn't be too hard. Getting him out unscathed might be hard, but, you know, It's
Well,
doable.
were they? Is he wearing tight pants? Is he a tight pants kind of a guy, or is he like a loose?
Search your heart. You know he's a target.
I mean, you
Too
knew.
bad for
We all
Jeremy,
knew.
There are only two types of guys. And we
He would be
know
using a
which type
crowbar and trying to pry them off his body.
There are two wolves inside you. One wolf wears tight pants. The other one does not.
Yeah, that fire, we dodged it. Ariana didn't. But that's why we all woke up. So,
The dragon's fine.
Dragon. Okay, you talked to the dragon?
oh yeah, that guy sucked. He just kept wanting us to say his name and open the big bad door and oh, he's gonna destroy the world and kill anyone we ever want. But I won't. I can kill anybody I want. I don't know what some statue's gonna do, but and he
Okay.
doesn't even know his own name, Boomer much. But anyway, so like, but you've slain dragons before. If you can do it, and then
These are the dragons of the world before.
Thoras, you know this angel? Vouch for me. We've helped each other.
Thoras does not know the angel, but Thoras is also confused as to what is going on.
As am I. Help me if you can.
Alan, I have not known you much time, but you seem okay.
A rousing vouch. Thank you, Thoras. You remember when I let you borrow my car? You remember when I gave all of that money to orphan children? You remember when when I gave you those spare tickets that I had to that concert?
Thoras does not remember much. Thoras can only remember falling through the sky and looking very cool.
I love you, and I always have. Even though you killed me, I thought our relationship would grow into something so beautiful that neither of us would be able to stop that love or passion.
Wait, hold on. Just wait, don't go into the light yet. Like, hold him like up my arms as he's on fire. Oh god, this kind of hurts a little bit. We could have been friends. We really could have. But I just want you to know that even in your death, you will be remembered. Because I have a new line of cryptocurrency coming out.
Wait, you what?
They're called NF trinkets.
Oh god, fucking kill me now, please.
Mason and Athalor, swept up along in the fey magic of this party, said something particularly heinous about the professor who just dropped a pop quiz on them. Something incredibly insulting and a little bit louder than you intended.
Cancelled.
About Mason and Athalor, Keo doesn't read. What level spell is Twit longer?
Seems like pieces of the Herald. It is a dream toxin. It has contaminated this entire room, everywhere that it's spread, to poison the dream world in this proximity.
I slap Sage in the face to break her concentration.
Oh no.
And I whisper to Mason, I've always wanted to do that.
It looked like it. That was a hard slap.
Yeah, I'm not going to do better.
Perception. 22.
Oh,
all right. I'm going to go ahead and simulate what happens here real quick.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Ah, shiver me timbers!
Well, yeah.
Well, shit. Alright, I think it's time to go check on Deadeye then, eh?
Think so.
Oh my god! It's hot! Oh, I'm gonna stop you so... Oh, it's so hot! I don't like this at all!
Genuinely.
Genuinely what?
scared me.
My apologies.
It doesn't do anything for you.
Oh.
Yep. Sorry. It doesn't stack to
What?
become immunity.
Okay.
They give
will
you one
it to
anyways
you.
because like they don't necessarily know, but yeah, everybody now has 1 potion of necrotic resistance.
I'll just slide mine over to Athalor.
All right,
There
you
go.
have 2 potions of necrotic resistance.
You got a lot of potions on you. You're the potion guy.
Potion
Thanks.
seller.
I didn't elect to become a potions guy, but hey, I'm not that magical anymore. So might as
Yeah,
well.
what else do you do? Am I right? So-
I'll carry the keg.
Got a celebration Gatorade that you can hose us with after. Iron flask.
Pop a corn out.
Don't ever do that motion again.
Why?
Disadvantage. So it's just this guy trying to be summoned.
He's trying to summon himself.
I will go have my shadows teabag the teleportation zone. Proceed to teabag.
I need you
in
to
an
roll,
effort to taunt.
I need you to roll a persuasion check to convince the Phoenix Knights not to immediately smite the hell beast that you're riding on.
The horse I'm on? Well, it's because I'm riding the horse. They need to be persuaded not to
Yeah,
dismount
because it's
me?
evil. It's a fiend. It's in league with the Infernals. It is an abomination that must be purged.
But you're
A
just
mal-
a baby.
A malevolent. It's not a baby. As it like as it paws at the crushed skulls of the devils.
Eats the corpse of its former rider.
The two Phoenix Knights sort of look at each other,
It's fine.
and they're going to steel themselves against the malevolent force attempting to rise.
Quiet down. Are you guys dating? Are you guys a thing?
Mason doesn't respond.
Time and place, Garnet.
Wait, Sventisco saying that?
Yes.
I mean, a maze is quite a romantic date, right?
Mason, you saved her. Oh, see, like Mason's the one who did all the work. These are like his dogs, and he let us here, and he really was so worried. And we fought this big thing earlier, and Mason was just so cool.
Oh my God, the vouch.
Thank you for the lampo.
Roll to vouch. Persuasion or deception, your choice.
Mason will try to say some of those things are true.
I would like to sit on the saddle of the cavalier and misty step myself onto the horse.
Oh damn! That's what, you got that for your birthday.
What the actual are you doing?
I'm riding a horse.
I'm
Dude.
on a horse. You're on a greasy horse, but you're on a horse.
I'm on a horse.
Okay, you teleport onto the fiend, this burning horse of evil, with the saddle, which wraps itself around. And according to the saddle of the cavalier, you can't be dismounted against your will, and attacks against it have disadvantage.
And I'm gonna talk to it in Infernal, because I know Infernal to try and have the horse be friends with me.
Great, now I have to roleplay a horse. They were on their way to find Sig, Ariana's tutor, the head of magical botany, and someone who had already been a vector for the Infernals in a previous incident. And if Unter Mialu, the library cat, would get off of my stream deck so I could run the show, that would be fantastic.
Oh, is it Athalor time? Let me at him. Let me at that.
Regards. Regards.
I'll kill that little.
All right.
Hi.
Okay. Describe this devil's fate at the claws of Slobber Chops.
He gets like whipped around, lands on his head, still like conscious and alive. Slobs just starts like going at his ass, just like and just disembowels him.
Oh.
Like I imagine the camera pans away and you hear a sound like a wood chipper, and you just gore spewing off to the side. It's like somewhat,
And then-
discretionary shot, but everybody
His
knows
legs
it's-
are like,
And then
"Gah!"
Slobberchops' face comes up into the screen, covered in gore, and it just does the The one like, the one like aggressive face lick. Yep.
I hate exactly what it is. I hate everything I stand for.
Okay. All right. This is a ridiculous plan, and they're going to go with it.
I prefer the one where we don't die, so I like this.
They go away
Also,
after
I
an
need some
hour.
earplugs.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
Okay,
Someone gonna heal me?
yeah, they're already like coming back with healing potions in crates. Like 24 packs of healing potions.
Just got a shock and a healing potion.
It's like a study session all over again. It's just chugging Red Bull.
Once again,
Red Bull give you fiends.
Not what I expected to be happening today.
So that's great. I honestly don't get to talk that often. People don't really get to hear what I have to say. And let me tell you, I got a lot to say. I got wouldn't even believe. I see a no one even pays attention to me. I'm just up in the trees doing my own thing. Except for Hootie. Hootie! Holy that dude. He got some that he wants to tell you. I'll tell you right now. Oh my gosh. That bird's got mouth on him. You think I'm like this? Oh my goodness. If looks could kill, that bird would be the most dangerous thing in this entire forest. My God.
18 seconds. Is that how long it'll take before those hellhounds come?
I don't know, probably. They're very fast.
Right. They can smell me.
Time's ticking.
Okay, I'll wait 18 seconds before I go back to the ethereal plane.
Okay.
And I go to the astral plane.
Oh man. Oh, there's jack shit this creature can do about that. Okay. Whoosh. You fade from reality, surrounded by the silver mists. You have no idea what's going through her head right now. If you were perhaps a little bit more perceptive, you would see the face of somebody who never wanted to be a mother, who never planned to be a mother, who's dedicated her life to gathering power so that she's never in a position where she's vulnerable again and where she won't be used for anyone else's purposes ever again, and yet finds herself having to talk to this teenager about drugs. Like, never anticipated this and is now trying to figure out the best way to go about it. Okay.
When a mummy drug and a daddy drug love each other very much.
Okay.
They do a special cuddle.
Shut up, like day. Unless you have expertise or anything in art.
Okay, that's that's
Not even the dawn can penetrate the deep.
Wait, does Evil Gang have one more inspiration?
I'm checking for Evil Gang inspiration. Please stand by.
Quan, used 2?
I have one left.
Okay.
I have one left for Quan. So I'm going to count this for Evil Gang. Go ahead and roll that again.
All right. Also, let's change the name to Alex. Just for. Wait, no way. What?
It was meant to be, Alexander.
Huh?
Evil Gang was not there. Shit.
It just really be like that.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay.
Holy fuck.
Pop! This boggle explodes into sludge.
What did the ugly sticky babies do?
Ugly sticky
Who
baby
started this?
attack Paramir, attack us. I destroy ugly baby.
Who started it? Paramir or the ugly sticky babies?
Hard to tell. All pop out of bush.
It's
Be
just
certain.
popping out of a bush.
They live in bush.
Wait,
They pop
do
out
you
of bush.
Kill everything that pops out of a bush?
If it stinks as bad as this ugly baby, yeah.
Oh, well, I've known a lot of stinky people who are actually very nice. You can't judge a baby by his stink?
Lash looks at you, kind of confused, but also kind of in awe. If Ezek can look past stench of ugly baby, Lash can look past stench of ugly baby.
All right, champions, round number 3. Fight.
I would like to cast Fuck This at 3rd level.
You could certainly try.
I'll cast an invisibility at 2nd level.
What's the appropriate name for it? Fuck this, I'm out. We're renaming invisibility.
Lemon Kiwi, I noticed something freaking ridiculous about Una.
What?
Under the familiar section, it talks about how, while the two of you are bonded, you can sense what it senses as long as you're within a mile of each other, right?
Right.
When Una's within 10 feet of you, you gain the benefits of magic resistance. You have advantage on all saving throws against spells and magical effects whenever Una's within 10 feet of you.
Oh, that's broken.
1 year later! Reading comprehension 20 inch, by the way. Holds him like a special.
This is my special magical resistance pet.
The power of bird compel. Oh, that is very much the wrong button. Hang on. Scuff. Yes, as the cast has said, Ioth Academy. It's the like the original. Hi, everyone. Welcome to episode 119 of Book of Dawn, Ioth Academy. I'm Tormented by Gnomes, your game master, and joining me after several years, we've got Crowan, Leg Day, and Lemon Kiwi. Crowan, what's up?
Several years, that is true. You know, what episode are we on?
Years.
119 of our 8-part miniseries. Damn, that's crazy. Good to be here for episode 119. though. It's been a minute.
Yeah. Legs, how are things?
After 10,000 years, I'm finally free to frag important characters, apparently.
Can we talk about that stick in your stream, though, earlier? That mercy stick?
Man. Yeah, I've been fragging today. My trace is on point.
That needs to be content. I want to see it because it was hot.
Coming soon to a TikTok near you.
Lemon, welcome back. How are you?
I'm good. There's no I in Ioth, am I right? Wait a minute.
There's definitely no you in Ioth. I can tell you that much.
That's all made to reject cast applications.
It's going good. Glad to see what kind of crazy stuff you have planned for us.
I have some really absolutely bizarre, weird stuff for you today. And when last we left our heroes, they were watching 3 flocks of carrion crows flying off towards each of their homelands. You did what you could to stop them, but they were not the agents of destruction, merely an omen of destruction. This was shortly after having a contest of wills with Lerkele the Shadow Sorceress in Gildenverge, during which you uncovered what you believe are her true motives and her connection to the Destroyer and to the Iron Empire. You were on your way back when the crows arrived, and that is pretty much where we left off. And the cards are flying tonight. They are dropping left and right. We're gonna have some stuff to get through.
Oh no.
It's gonna be one of those games.
Are we in danger?
When are you not, though? Like, if we're gonna be 100% realistic here. Okay. So, Before I take the reins and begin dictating the flow of the story, is there anything that you want to do?
I know for sure Launcher was a little freaked out about the whole crows thing and wanted to go immediately tell Elno about all of this.
Okay. All right. You return to the academy through the causeway, make your way back up to the spire and to Ioth's office, where the 3 of the 4 elemental gates have been sealed from the other side by the 3 surviving wind gods. You bring Elnau up to speed.
Did we tell her about Lurkele? Probably not. It's like, oh, we were just chilling in Gildenberg and crows.
In Gildenverge, I might have accidentally said Infernal's name by mistake. Whoopsies. And then that happened.
We were just yapping. Yeah, just yapping about the Destroyer, as you do, as homies may be doing.
Of course. Like us especially, so.
Why is it always you 3?
Yeah. Whoops.
Okay. Usually when you speak an Infernal's name, it's like in a crowded room. If somebody hears their name spoken, they might turn over in that direction, or they might actually go over there. So obviously you got his attention.
Yeah.
Birds like that, they're not going to make that journey anytime soon. They were obviously under supernatural influence. I think the correct thing to do is to warn the authorities in those 3 areas. I don't know what else we can do aside from ask our new master of divination to add that to her list. But I will send a notification. I will send word and warn them ahead of time. Is there anything else that I need to know, kids?
Just looks like Garnet briefly.
I'm I'm interested in taking extracurricular lessons outside the academy. And do I need a permission slip from someone, or do I need your blessing, or?
I could sign.
Oh, thanks.
You're like 2 months old at best.
I'm a family member, right? If she incinerated my last form.
I don't want to talk about that anymore. I'm not going to think about that.
Yeah, I kind of helped give birth to you. I'm actually probably your
very
mom.
much do not want to talk about this anymore. Garnet, the issue is primarily one of security. There are so many people out there right now who would very much like to kill or abduct you and your friends. So if you're outside of the academy, I'm not going to claim that we've had perfect security here, but it is safer inside than outside. So where are you going, and do I need to ask where you're going to be learning from? Or what you'll be studying?
Well, Madame Lurkele has offered to teach me what she knows about shadow magic as a favor for rescuing her. I thought it'd be best we didn't do that in the academy. But if there is space, then I could host her here.
Roll a persuasion check, please.
Pretty persuasive.
24.
Notable persuader.
Allow a fey being of shadow with nebulous intentions inside our defenses, or have Garnet sneaking outside of our defenses.
With a fey shadow being.
Yes, thank you, Athalor, for clarifying.
You're welcome.
Okay. I'll speak with Untumaler and see if we can arrange a suitable study area. Under our auspices, under our security.
Oh, really?
Yes, really. I would rather have this in our area than outside of it. And if I tell you no, you're just going to go do something incredibly dangerous.
Kind of leads over to Athalor and Mantra. That went surprisingly well.
Crazy what happens when you just be communicative about things and ask for something that you want.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
Is honesty the best policy now? Lies have been doing so well.
It's turning out to be. No, I put so many points in deception.
That's a lot.
Only for when you need to.
That's true.
Yeah, that seems like a much
All
better
right,
result.
business settled. Quick before she changes her mind and starts kind of like getting out of her seat.
I mean, maybe it helped that we offered a double-barreled kind of thing of, hey, so we may have sort of been the harbingers of the destruction of our homelands, but extracurricular activities. Like the 1-2 punch makes it seem not so bad.
Start with the really bad thing and then follow up with the less bad thing.
Yeah.
That's not so bad anymore.
Meeting with Lurkley wasn't even the worst thing we did that day. I didn't even do the worst thing. It's great.
That's true. This one's on Mantra.
I'll take credit when I make a bad, and I made a bad.
It's okay. We forgive you. But will the millions of innocents?
I don't know where those birds went. Did we kill all the birds, or did some of them get away?
I got the ones going to Underwood.
There were a huge number of them. Mm-hmm. And some of them talked to you. Okay. The sage has made progress with our Fae friend. Why don't we all go have a conversation with her?
Ooh, okay.
That sounds great.
Which one, the head or the
Yes.
leader? Oh, okay.
Yes.
Fun.
Elnau is going to go ahead and lead you via secret passages down into the deep vaults. Into the tower where the floor is a grate over a pool of some bubbling, chemical-smelling substance. The room is marked with runes of warding and protection. A thin layer of lead surrounds the entire chamber. And Loloax Cap's head sits in a glass jar on a pedestal. The sage stands before it. Lights, motes of scintillating teal light still floating about her.
Wow.
Good. You will not like this.
Oh.
It's like tapping on, like I was already kneeled in front of the head and tapping on it.
Is this thing on?
Wait, is it actually biting and shit?
Yes.
Oh, what the fuck?
Don't touch that.
It's not.
No longer want to.
It is not true life. It is simply the residual psychic energy providing motive force. We have been calling upon it a great deal. You should see this.
Oh, it's good to know that even their base residual
Sage.
force is an asshole too.
The sage brings her hands together. Her white wood staff floats in the air before her. The lantern is set on the ground. She throws out her hands. That same scintillating light blue light flows outward towards the head and then up through the air like a fountain to alight upon each of you, joining all of you in a shared vision. Echo, a ragged memory from the hag's life. A series of images, all from her perspective, none of them from the outside. In none of these do you see her. But down in the undercroft of your own very school, you see her tending to a garden of twisted, monstrous things. Flickers forward, smacking redcaps on the head and sending them back out into the undercroft. Dealing with a group of students. Their faces all somewhat blurred, but
clearly wearing the robes of fifth years. And in one particular vision, at night, she is wandering through a forest looking for someone. There is a swirl of darkness and a screech, and she arrives in the grove, in the grotto, in this clearing a moment too late, as her coven sister is dragged into oblivion. Moments later, your skin feels like you've been plunged into water, cold and frozen, with a layer of ice between you and oxygen, as frost crusts over the grass, shrivels the leaves on the trees, makes them drip with icicles like bitter tears. It is a distant feeling, removed from the truth of it, but it is a presence that you have felt many times before. As a cloud of swirling, oily darkness rises up to form a familiar shape, masked and cowled and holding in his hands a scepter of black ice veined with red. And Despair's Herald speaks to Lola Waxcackle in this dreamscape. And then opens his hand. And Naomi stands in that very clearing beside him. And she tells Lola that it was Garnet who killed her. The Herald teaches her the rites and spells to call upon the faceless. And the vision ends, disconnected.
Naomi's alive and... Huh?
That was a dream, right?
It was a dream. And it was from Lola's perspective. And we are seeing only its trace echoes. There's no way for us to discern exactly what it is that he showed her. It is entirely in his power to call forth that visage from within Dream. Simply by shaping the dreamscape around him. Yes.
When you said dealing with students, was that like dealing with as in, I'm going to deal with the mob style, or dealing with as in like, hey kids, you want some heroin? Or...
No, a bunch of kids came down and like wrecked her shop.
Oh, so that it was more of a revenge deal with them.
Oh, it was like they wrecked her shop and then she left. And this was fairly recent. This is this year.
Wait, did we do that this year?
You didn't have anything to do with that. That wasn't you.
Ah, okay. So
some other kids. Yeah.
Did we fight her
Timeline.
at F's place
Her sister
when she turned invisible?
I don't think that was her.
Another incidental hack in the Undercroft is swarming with them.
Coven usually has 3 members.
Oh, true. Oh, fuck.
So she wanted to take revenge, and the Herald gave her ammunition to do that?
So it would seem. This is the only way I can think of that she could possibly have learned of this.
But why does Lola Waxcackle care about what happened to Naomi?
I don't know. I surmise it was part of a longer, twisted plan.
She wasn't just intending to march her redcaps to the academy and burn the place to the ground. She was trying to kill people that you care about. I imagine she had other similar designs as well.
I can understand the desire for revenge for the sister hag. Are there supposed to be 3 hags in a coven?
Yes.
So the last one likely knows what Lola Waxcackle knew. And likely will suspect that we had something to do with the next death. Question is, are they as bent on vengeance as Lola was?
Well, the
I have
third
to
one's
stop calling
probably
her
at the
Lola.
the third one's probably at the academy, considering the other 2 were either in the Grove and then the Undercroft. So, third one has to be here somewhere, right?
What other habitats would they have in the natural spaces of the academy? The grotto?
Perhaps.
Shouldn't be able to hide there. But they infiltrated us before. It depends on how long, if she is here, it depends on how long ago she arrived. The wardens will be conducting a search.
What's the average lifespan of a
As
hag?
will our local experts.
Hundreds? Thousands? Decades?
Left to their own devices, they do not die natural deaths.
Undetermined. Okay.
Elle now just is doing one of these, like a minor face palm. So security remains highly important. If it's possible for the 3 of you to be any more paranoid, please do so.
I think there's room to grow, you know? We're always pushing the envelope.
Well, we're 2-0 against hags right now. I'm not really worried.
It depends entirely on who the third one is and whether they can learn from the other's mistakes. One's mistake was to simply underestimate some first-year students. The second's mistake was to underestimate you now. If the third one waits 4 years, I like our odds. If they move sooner than that, we'll see. Just be cautious.
Okay.
Were there any residual auras or glimpses of ruin that walks?
Yes, I prefer not to show you those. Lola was content to
Elucidate
conduct
the
whatever
detail.
rites were necessary. She was willing to conduct whatever rites were necessary with whatever powers would answer to get what it is that she wanted. Had she had time to take more of the village, I feel she would have made an offering to the ruin that walks for more than a revenge pact. The rats that gathered at her camp were there of the ruin that walks volition and of her bargains with them.
So both activate and a contingency.
And there was more in the works. But with her death, she has nothing left to offer. Step softly and go forth.
Have you tried asking the head the sister's name? The one that's left?
Still working on that. Memories are fragmented and grim.
Is F's house still down in the Undercroft?
Yes.
You said 5th years destroyed whatever shop was down there, but the other hag who escaped, if that house is down there, we might be able to find something that belongs to them.
True. Untermuller already cleared that site. Not the tower, the hag's site, after being notified of its presence. Perhaps a search of the tower will reveal something.
It would help the chances of being able to scry them. At least see if they're in the academy.
Well, we have the head of her sister. Is that not maybe a belonging?
No,
I don't know if that
hags
counts
would
as
not
their
belong.
belonging.
Understand. They don't. Love is not an emotion they are permitted to experience on pain of death, neither sisterly nor any other form. I don't think any of them would consider each other a possession.
Well, they seem to care enough about Naomi to
Use her
go to
against
war.
you, and nothing more. A hag finds something that she can use to take what is bright or beautiful and twist it into something dark and ugly. As
Good
far
news
as
is they
Lola
think
was
you're beautiful.
concerned, Naomi was nothing but an ugly secret to use against you. The girl herself meant nothing.
Anything else?
If there should be anything else, I will call upon you.
Thank you.
The sage nods, and Elnau is going to escort you back out of the deep vaults, straight up to the spire. And it seems like she's about to dismiss you, but there's one last thing on her mind. I know you may have lost track with everything that's been happening, and I know that it seems like there's bigger things to focus on right now, but your education is more important than ever. Don't forget that your first final is this month for the school year.
Oh.
In all the
That's all.
subjects?
They typically test for all subjects.
As much of my time and attention as you three take, I actually don't have your curriculums memorized.
Fine, I'll help you guys study.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to need that for numerology.
Mm-hmm.
With that, she'll go ahead and dismiss you, unless there's anything else that you had for Elnau.
No, just a new panic. What's another?
Well, a change is
Two
as
new
good as a
panics.
rest. Okay. And she sends you back off to mind your own business. The month of Cupbearer begins with one of the days that is not on in any other month. It's the day of the third pillar, the day of death. Not the day of those who have died, but the day that marks
murder,
among other things, the change of state, the transition between life and death. Just as birth is the transition between renewal and life, death marks the transition point between life and renewal. Everybody has their own ways of celebrating it. The Academy doesn't do anything official for it. There's lots of different cultural things to recognize. Brontha, obviously, being heavily into the cycle, marks it as a day of lots of contemplation. It's usually observed at sunset because each of the main four parts of the day corresponds to one of the pillars as well. Sort of solemn silence, meditation, contemplation, burning incense. The elves don't really mess with it much. I mean, the Holdra have their thing, especially the fall Holdra of Foam Horde, but the Alfar don't really give too much of a shit. Arix would have like some meditation contemplation on it. It's like a memento mori, just to remember that you will die thing. But it's not like it's like, hey, you're gonna die. It's like how the Emperor used to have like one person who it's during their triumphant parade sitting in their chariot saying, "Remember you're mortal. Remember you're mortal. Remember you're mortal." Yeah. So it's a weird day. So in most cultures, it's not like the Feast of Auruk where you have big market day celebrations. It's just sort of a thing that happens leading into this month, Cupbearer. The first final is at the very end of the month, the 27th day out of 28. And your final will be in, I think, which of my tabs is this on? Not that one. Not that one. I organized all of this. Arcane Theories and Proofs.
Okay, so not all of
the
them at
series,
once.
the theory side of spell matrices. Yeah, numerology is second.
Right.
To pass this class, you will need to be able to model and predict how magic will flow or behave under various conditions. So the final is a written test where you're presented with like a spell matrix or an arcane situation, and you have to analyze it and then write a description of how magic should behave, like what should be the result. How should the magical energies move and interact?
It's like in science when we give you those weird like circuit diagrams that are like, what happened? What do?
Yeah. When you
Are
take
there
when you take
any-
your spell matrices final, it's even more like that. Go ahead.
Are there any specific Death Festival things for Rialto worshippers? Don't know if they have any dominion there.
And Rialta sort of has a connection to the four pillars, but Rialta is more, whereas Zalar emphasizes even the nighttime, Rialta is more focused on the night, and so the fourth pillar of renewal is what Rialta really focuses on. The it's okay. You know, people are gone and they've passed, but it's okay. Something good is still coming from it. That the sun is going to rise again. You're not alone even during these dark times. That's sort of the ongoing message of Rialta. Suen would definitely have some sort of recognition of it. Just not something I have off the top of my head.
Cool.
But after that, we get into the week, and what I'm planning on doing is just sort of rolling through a bunch of stuff that happens this month. Some of it will be interruptions that mess with your time and pop up, but also it's a question of how are you spending your time this month. Your first final is at the end of the month, and you have one final every week after that. So you have 4 finals, one after another. And then you have your elective final after that. So you actually have 5 finals, each is a week apart. And then the school year is over.
Graduation to the next year?
Year 5 is ending.
now can finally
We're
become the
doing it.
proper headmaster.
Yeah, maybe.
Mm-hmm. So
Monday
I know
morning,
all of you have a lot
9
of
a.m.
stuff on.
Got it. Study club.
So yeah, this is going to be a back and forth of me saying, hey, how are you spending your time? And then you either stirring up shit or me with just this list of shit that's going to happen. So I'm going to start with, how are you spending your time?
Studying.
Okay.
Yeah.
It is-
Trying,
the other
trying to
study.
join Garnet the Nerd for studying.
Nurge.
She is Das Nurge. In the time that gets spent with Mia Hairthil, Athalor's like taking it a bit more slowly to do theory more than feeling, which is weird for a sorcerer, I suppose. But it's a different approach, but might be a little bit better to get a little bit more of the brain work going in.
It's like studying music theory when you're not a composer, but you're still a musician. It's even though you just sort of have innate talent and innate understanding, knowing the actual math and rules and stuff is one, why I dropped my music minor in college, and two, very important. All right. Garnet is studying. Athalor's studying with Garnet and with Mia Hethil. Mantra, what are you doing?
Probably not studying much. There's still the only like school aspect for Mason. Like if Garnet's like, "Oh, hey, want to study?" Mason would be like, I guess so, sure," but like wouldn't go out of his
I
way
guess
to.
so.
I guess so, but probably spending a lot of time with Sventisco and helping out in the stuff that she's doing. Since it's been pretty busy recently, and probably like doing a little bit of not studying for tests, but studying on like rune magic and stuff like that. Because yeah, is prioritizing that.
Okay. Okay. Based on what you focus on, I'm going to give you additional perks at the end of the school year.
Oh.
Okay.
All right. As the week goes on, as time goes on, you hear rumblings and rumors of war and students becoming not afraid for their own safety, but those who are from lands afar growing more worried and grim. Garnet Inaros keeps in touch with you via sending spells, telling you that he and his army have arrived safely in Naramu. They're holding the city. The Iron Empire and the designers are both marching against Naramu. While we hold the capital, they don't have the forces to hold the outskirts. Thinking always of you. He just sort of keeps you up to date. It sounds like he's safe, and he's always very thoughtful. Always saves the last few words for something that is not about work. But it doesn't sound great. Doesn't sound like he's in danger, but it doesn't sound great.
Probably like reply with any strategic suggestions or questions and stuff like that, and we'll kind of update him that we're hunting the third hag of the coven that may be residing at the academy. And they may have beef with me, but I got this. I ain't worried, 2-0 against hags, going for the triple kill. Not worried, but also just studying, and it is pretty peaceful at the academy, all things considered. And even though it's like all this shit is happening, this is peaceful for like what we've been through. TBH.
Vibing.
Like on the year 5 scale, this isn't half bad.
Yeah.
This is a week in the Bahamas. For any soccer fans, if we kill another one, that's actually going to be a hag trick.
Oh, okay.
Let me switch briefly to the map for some other stuff that's going on that may be relevant to a certain raven outbreak we recently experienced.
Came down with the ravens.
Ithgos, the Iron Empire, the most powerful of the Iron Empire, whose forces you battled in Marison's camp, who tried to kill her at Uzul's. It was the armies of Ithgos that did that. They have been waging war with basically all their neighbors, and they have defeated all their enemies in the West, forcing them to pay tribute, send forward their armies, executing their war leaders. They've won every single war. Over the course of the month, they win battle after battle. They burn, they pillage, and Gluckmore, Mazru, and the Hillfolk are all forced to concede. And now they are moving east, laying claim to the mountains, sending out patrols and establishing watchtowers and such. Because they annexed the Dark Academy, they are expanding their military reach to engulf it, bringing them much more uncomfortably closer to, I mean, it's still like 500 miles to the Academy, and more importantly, to Betholo. And with no wars to fight in the West, their options in the East include include Bothotlo and Onderud, who have not been attacked for a very long time, but worry and tension are ambient. Athalor, have you given any further thought to how to respond to the Crimson Council?
Athalor writes back, noting that he would accept the offer and that he would elect for his mother to act as regent in Onderud while he completes and excels in the Academy's magic to return when he's at his most powerful.
Okay. That will be conveyed. Beyond the issues of warfare and chaos and studying for school, Dorina and Renobi track the three of you down during one of the school days as the time goes by. And in their hands, they have a beautifully printed flyer for a performance of The Dance of the Seasons, a Holja tale at the Grand Theater later this month. They're both performing in it. It's a ballet, effectively. And they want all three of you to show up.
Ooh. Is the Master of Divination on the roster list?
No. She just signed up, so she didn't have time. Like, they've been rehearsing for this all... This is
We
like
should
the
invite
end of year
her.
thing. That's a great idea. We should
It would be
invite
great
her.
to come. Athel looks at Garnet, who he knows is like the Prime Network, and like, we should take her. She'd love that.
Sure, let me send her a message.
Yeah, sure. We can go, but I think it'd be a good idea. Unless it's weird.
Great.
Like,
We will see you
you're
there.
with Cyrus, you're with Sventisco, I'm with the Master of Divination.
No, not weird, surely.
Is that weird?
No.
It's weird if you make it weird.
Exactly.
I'm thinking about it now. Does that make it weird?
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting mixed signals from you.
Are you seeing anyone right now, Athalor?
No.
Okay, you don't have to be that formal about it. Like, are you seeing someone?
No. No.
Oh. Weird.
Sorry?
No, it's fine. Why not?
Insight check.
He's simply bitchless, Your Honor.
Thus thou art alone. No read whatsoever on.
Is it because I play
Renobi
League of
and
Legends?
Dorina. Is it because you elbow? Is the person that you are they just not available?
That's one way to put it.
Well, the last person he kissed is in like another continent.
Okay, Garnet, I was trying to be sensitive about that, but yeah, that's what I mean.
The diplomats. But yes, it's only been like a few months. You know, there's time to find other people who I'm interested in. It'll be fine. And what if she comes back?
I think Henan likes you.
Henan likes me.
Yeah, he's kind of ace. I don't know. I didn't ask. It's not my business. Then why are you bringing up his business right now? It's part of the conversation. All right.
And how did you find out?
Yeah.
Is it just a read? Are there sparks there? Are you good at this kind of read?
Read based on what?
I don't. Oh, it's funny because he reads books. I don't think Kenan sparks.
Does he flutter?
I've never seen him flutter. But like
Does
he
he
never
just-
talks to you. So I don't know. I don't know.
He's really
It's weird.
into you bullying Cryas.
Yeah, he's not the only one who's into that.
Do you guys still
roll an insight check, please, Garnet.
do you guys still do codex stuff? You see him at the codex stuff?
No read whatsoever. I mean, yeah, he's at the codex meetings, but he's just like super flat affect most of the time, just calm, vibing in his lane.
In his slippers.
Mm-hmm.
I'd describe
his
Kenan
books.
as constantly in like a power saving mode.
Yeah, no, that's a good way to say it. Yeah, he's like constantly. Like, he doesn't even trance, but he's constantly trancing. You know, he's wandering the paths of memory, but he's remembering everything that's happening right now.
Or his vibing.
Yeah, he's got a
Someone
bit
has
of a,
played the
like,
light of the pearl, giving you
mysterious-
advantage.
Oh, go again, guy. Re-insight.
I don't think it's on purpose. The mysterious thing.
Well, he's kind of.
Oh yeah, no, I don't think it's weird.
He is kind of attractive.
That's an insult.
What?
But like
it makes you wonder, right? Like,
I don't. I feel
if he's always that distant. Like, what's he gonna be like when he's there? You know?
Yeah. Is there like another Henin that we don't know, or is it just slippers all the way down? Right.
Yeah. Like, is it a full stack of slippers, or are there like some boots there?
They're nice. They're nice slippers, but the boot status is completely unknown. It's a mystery. And plus, it's not like he ever goes out of his way to talk to you. So, you know, that's a him problem.
There can't be all slippers there. Surely there's some boots if you get to know him in a different way than just seeing him be all chill, vibing all the time.
Yeah, maybe. Does Cryer still come to the Codex meetings from like his new digs? Does he like trapeze over the?
He's going to be. He shows up. He's made his peace with Fuckum in the Court of Reverie. He's no longer being tormented by them, but he still like only shows up in Tarselmore Hall for meetings. He's also hosting study sessions for finals. He's hosting them in Mist Tower, where he goes now, not over in Tarselmore Hall. He announces those at the Codex meetings, so it's not secret, and that is an option that people can take up. Since the Codex die will help with finals.
That sounds like something that might be worth doing. I'm sure Mantra would be allowed to come if Mantra wants to come.
I mean, do I have to?
I'm not saying you have to.
Might
Might
be fun. Studying fun. I think I have something to do that day. Actually, I have plans with Sventisco, but thanks.
Oh yeah,
I have to polish my horns, Renobi, sort of.
Yeah. Yep.
Or maybe
I'll
Helen
not
will be there, and I will check in on the boot status.
They both snicker at that. All right,
Plus, I
the
haven't
show's the
missed
day
out
after
before.
finals. You what?
First finals, or second finals?
Yeah, day after. Day after our first final, the 28th.
Okay.
In the evening at the Grand Theater on the Ring.
Sounds good.
Awesome. We'll see if we can bring the Master of Divination. I'm sure they'd love to see your performance.
They simultaneously, Dorina says not weird and Renobi says weird.
Not weird.
Mixed messages.
And they'll go off to do their own thing.
The more I think about it, the weirder it gets.
Oh,
that's because you keep thinking about it.
No, I can't stop thinking about it, man. How am I supposed to stop thinking about it when I'm just trying to not think about it?
Just don't think about it. Just think about literally anything else.
Yeah, okay. Math.
Oh, math. Okay, you think anything else and you choose math?
That was a mistake.
No. Studying, I get it. You want good grades.
I am going to fail numerology. Really badly.
C's get degrees.
Time carries on day after day into week following week. Is there anything Untermaler assures you that a plan is in the works to capture Morko the Great Bear to force a resolution in the fairy games? They have called for the first of the challenges to occur on Arakura's day, which is traditionally the first day of school, which is the day that Elnau would be taking power. Untermaler will actually pull, just again, after a short time skip, he'll actually pull in the lot of you.
The timing is unfortunate, but I believe I have a plan. It does not, however, take effect until after the new year begins. Morko. Yes. When one is dealing with a being such as Morko, a force of nature, it is best not to work against nature, but with it. My theory is simple. The details will be complicated. Morko is the Great Bear. We will lay upon him, with the sage's help, an enchanted sleep in winter, when his mortal kindred will be hibernating. He himself should be more susceptible to this magic. And in the depths of dream, the sage can meet with him and equal him and persuade him that he has been vanquished honorably. Well, vanquished.
We'll take it. How do we fit in?
You have been studying oniromancy with the sage, yes? After the new year begins and you've completed your studies, you will assist her in developing the great rune, the great sigil that will enact this spell. Each of you have your own talents in this regard, and I am sure that you will be apt assistants. Also, since you're the ones who handed him his ass in the Golden Bough, it is appropriate that he see himself vanquished by you so that he can admit his own defeat. And by trial of strength and cunning, hopefully earn peace.
Peace would be great.
That is all on that. We need as much peace as we can get. Until then, you have your studies to tend to. The foundations of a great mage are laid in the very basics. That will be all unless... Good. Good studies.
And
we'll go ahead and give you a respectful, dismissive nod.
Thank you.
Will you be studying on your own as a group? Will you be attending a codex study session?
I might as well show up to the codex study session for Athel. He wants to see what if Cryus has done like a new recruitment drive at Mist Tower.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Mist Tower is beautiful. It was built, it literally is like largely made out of mist. It's floating above a pool of waterfalls. Everything is extremely cool and cold here. It's right next to the Cold Iron Crucible. And so he's holding this study session in one of the rooms there. And the room is, everything's blue. Everything's this like grayish blue because it's made out of magically stabilized mist. The air is always cool. The humidity is always high. In this particular study room, you can sort of feel the rumbles of the waterfalls, but not really hear much from outside. So it's like this low-grade white noise. There is a flowing fountain of just billowing mist, not even water, in the center of the room, and lots of little quiet study nooks and tables, and a beautiful bench all with engravings and polished all the way around it. Everyone here is being very quiet during the study session. Cryus has been taking this extremely seriously, because when doesn't he? As you're sitting and sort of looking around, no new people have showed up to the meetings, the Codex meetings from Mist Tower. It doesn't seem like he's doing heavy recruitment. He is keeping an eye open, but he hasn't put up any flyers or done anything like that. He is more looking to handpick and invite people.
What's he wearing?
He will... Huh?
What's he wearing?
What's Cryus wearing?
Yeah, is he just... is he on parade, or is he just wearing the usual 5th year stuff?
He's wearing like the 5th year robes, but with gray and brown underneath. Like very utilitarian, kind of plain tunic and underrobes beneath it. He, as soon as he sees the two of you enter, he waves over Henan, who is nose deep in a book and sort of adjusts his spectacles and looks up and sees you. And then he and Henan will walk over to Garnet. Athalor, if you don't mind.
Oh, yes. Leadership. Athalor goes off, and I'm going to go over to where Henan was sitting and peep the book.
Okay. Roll. Nah, don't even have to roll. He has
My
3 books open. One is his erotic sketches. No, it's he's studying for his first final. He has a book of bird anatomy, but from like a how to draw wings sort of perspective, like artist's anatomy book of it. And the third is a sketch that he's doing himself. In this particular case, it's of a blue jay. He's got like colored inks and charcoals and stuff, and it's very, very beautifully done. Roll a perception check or investigation check for me, please.
Perception.
Natural 20. He's using silver, like silver ink in parts of it. Blue jays are not silver. This one appears to be.
Athel very much approves. Gets out his own book and kind of sits at the same table.
Cryus will go ahead and, assuming Garnet goes along with.
Sure, is Mantra there too?
No.
To the Codex thingy? No.
Yeah, he did not come along.
Okay, I would have skipped then too. I would have only went if he went.
All right. Completely valid. Then you don't get waved off. We'll say that you still got an opportunity to peek a look at his notes. But they don't call for like a private gathering or anything. So you went there alone, basically, Athalor.
Yeah, I thought I wanted to scope out Miss Tower and see shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's super, super nice.
fairly
Roll a history
quiet.
check.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Which mage was this? It was me.
The Magician of the Mists was an adventurer back near the time of the death of Arakura in 6412. That's about all you know.
Cool.
Cryus is going to be sort of like going over his notes. You can see he's made rigorous multiple like study sheets and he's going over. So, Athalor, what are your plans for next year?
I'm hoping to maybe focus in a little bit more on abjuration. I'm doing a lot of transposition magic right now rather than transmutation. I might have a couple of trips to Underwood to make. Do you plan on visiting where you came from ever? If you get a chance, I know that it's not fair enough. Can I read on entry how he feels about Garnet not being here?
Sure.
He kind of
Give me insight with
advantage
advantage thanks to the light of the pearl.
He kind of expects Garnet maybe. 15.
He does not seem concerned.
Okay. He's getting over it.
There's not even a Yeah. Abjuration is a good elective for year 6. Why would I go back to Gilden Verge? What do they have that the Academy doesn't? Bad memories. Broken mirrors.
To be fair, we broke a few mirrors here. But you're right.
Necessary.
Maybe it's better to confront that when if your time at the Academy finishes. Strike me as
Apparently,
someone who
it's
would
no
stay as a
longer
teacher.
Right. Yeah. Apparently, the mirror issue is no longer a priority.
I would say recency bias may affect some things. Some forces are more concerned with us than others at this time, and the Academy has multitude of enemies, including those who are personal to yourself.
Yes.
And those who are personal to others.
I don't think I have any important personal enemies. Nobody's
I thought kind of
significant.
claps him on the shoulder. Not yet. Powerful mages will always make them.
Yeah, I'm working on that. I feel like it's counterproductive. You know, I used to want to follow in Ioth's footsteps. You know, we're upholding his legacy, but I don't really think that what matters is the stories people tell about him. What he actually learned and accomplished and taught is much more important than having a statue or a place named after you. It's the art. It's the knowledge and the secrets. That's really what he made.
Like his
Sometimes I think
net
that
contribution.
Yes. the depth of understanding that he showed, the way he really got it.
Maybe in time we'll be able
That's
to
what we have to
understand it in
observe.
its completeness.
As long as it doesn't get lost along the way. Are you going to be in Tarsimore again next year?
I didn't know there was an option to move. Well, until you did, but I figured
He
there's
sort of
special
gestures
circumstances.
at himself.
I thought that might have been
You
considered
should
a
consider
special
Miss Tower.
circumstance. I should consider Miss Tower. I mean, it is lovely.
You're a special circumstance.
One amongst many.
Roll an insight check, please.
Do I still have Light of the Pearl, or is it gone?
No, you still have it. Hasn't been an hour yet.
6. Nice.
Nice. All right, he just sort of hesitates and says, I think the atmosphere here is much more conducive to learning and understanding. It'd be nice to have you here.
I'll keep that in mind. Thanks.
He immediately looks back down to what he's working on and attacks it with renewed vigor.
Athol does the same.
All right. Henin studies and draws birds. All right. Time passes along. Garnet, one of the things that's going to happen during this interlude is Cyrus is going to look in on you.
Ooh.
And ask, you were in the Grove and you were in the Great Hall. Have you ever actually been to the grotto?
I don't think so. Do I have a reason to?
You do now.
8?
There is a series of caves in there. The grotto is all underground, channeled through elemental magic. And that means that it is a work of natural art. And I'd like to show it to you with dinner.
Okay.
Perfect. This weekend, when you can get away from your studies?
Yeah, and if you ever want to study together, that we could find time for that too.
You know, I have been meaning to hit the books. I'll bring food.
And that kind of like cheers her up a bit from the hag business.
Mm-hmm. All right. Could I get each of you to make a skill check for me and describe for your studying and describe how it is you're primarily going about this?
Okay. I'll start going Arcana. A lot of this is kind of like trying to transpose the natural feeling of sorcerer casting into understanding how the spell matrices work. So it's kind of like learn by doing and then reverse engineer how do I do that.
Mm-hmm. Remember that you can use things like persuasion to participate in study groups or investigation to hunt through the library, whatever you want to use, if you can justify how it's helping you study. And once you get to the test is the test. But for the studying, you can do as you like. That said, 15 is good. 15 is good.
Is this lucky diceable?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Let me spend one of those bad boys. Never mind. I am not rolling great today.
Rip.
That's okay. We got the
Nothing
nat
really
20 to look at a
matters.
bird.
Crowan, how is Mason studying?
Mason's pretty focused on just his own areas of magic. I think looking at a lot of celestial runes, like reading, like would go to library, like read books on like runes and stuff, and basically, I guess try to like develop new spells or just understand them better.
Okay. Are you studying for the test at all, or are you literally just doing your own thing?
Probably like a 90-10 split. There's like a little bit of test studying, but mostly his own thing.
All right, this isn't going to apply then, but give me a roll anyways for your individual studies.
All right.
20.
20. Yeah, we'll just let that ride.
All right. Lemon, how is Garnet going about studying? A thing we actually do on this magic school show.
She's definitely more of like a hands-on, practical studier. So we'll just hit the Arcana roll as well, and it's not too bothered. It's pretty a brainiac when it comes to like that
Damn
stuff.
classmate who doesn't even have to study.
She's just getting dinner at
During
the
this
garage.
time,
Hey!
During this time, Mason, Sventisco is working with you on your studies. She's also like really taking a larger interest in what's going on in the world at wide. Like the way that Ioth is pushing towards her people and the war that's going on in the South and all that sort of stuff.
We'll definitely be focused on that too. Like, make sure that he's in the know and talk to her about it, and like ask her, like, oh, like, you know, she wanted to go out in the world and like do stuff. Like, is that around the time? Like, does this accelerate that timeline or anything like that? It's like,
right. So for her, there's no like date nights really happening much. It's more like really intense work and study and heavy conversations followed by makeout sessions. That's more her speed. That being said, because of that, you're one of the first people to learn that Stone Abbey is burning. Stone Abbey is a relatively small culture to the south. They're calling this group of the Sinister Horde, the Iron Empire, and the designers, they're calling it the Southern Triad, because these three allies of different infernals are all clearly working together to undermine and attack the priest kingdoms and now Stone Abbey. Before the death of Arakura, Stone Abbey, Lam Coulet, was a very technologically sophisticated underground society. But when the infernals arose, Anachronus possessed, much like he did to your own school, he possessed their machines. They barely survived. And they coped by going full Mennonite, just smashing all of their inventions, all of their artifice, and living a very disciplined, simple, strict lifestyle. And now the Sinister Horde is just laying waste to them, slaughtering them, burning their monasteries. It just sounds like it's completely unmitigated. Nothing's stopping it.
Nothing stopping it, Mantra. Nothing.
Nothing. Oh god. We can stop it, Sven. We can do it.
Are you serious?
I mean, we could try.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, the what do we have? The resources you know have the Thorlo tribe, but of course they're busy dealing with, well, the stuff. The Academy is busy with so many things, but maybe once things settle down with Brontha, and maybe you can ask for some of their help.
When is that going to happen, though?
I don't know.
Neither do I.
Not much in the way of all of these politics. Like, who else is even able to help? I'm not sure.
I mean, I just wish there's a way for us to just blow everything up, but there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them. I don't know if it's something we can do.
Well, maybe we could talk to, I don't know, Elnau Untmal about it and see just if they have any insights, any...
Let's talk with Athalor and Garnet first before we get them involved. You're also the first one to learn that a massive volcano has gone off in the Silver Dragon tribe's lands. It doesn't seem to have caused like widespread death and destruction. But people are kind of taking it as an omen. Since news of Orn's death is spreading, people are taking it as like a sign of some kind.
Seems to be. I would imagine it is.
Mm-hmm.
With the elements being so, like canonically represented in Anakra, are volcanoes taken as bad omens versus like the exaltation of sin or whatever?
They could, I mean, that would be the first thing people would think of, would be like, sin did that. It's not believed that all acts of fire are linked to the Sovereign of Flame, but a display like that, especially given that it doesn't seem to have really had a death toll, that's when people say it's a sign, they're not necessarily saying it's an infernal sign. They are kind of assuming that sin is involved, but what it actually means is still a mystery.
So a little bit different from Abrahamic religions who are like, God's punishing us!
Right. I mean, if Brontha exploded to a volcano, people would be like, why did sin do that? God is punishing us. Why?
What does sin doing?
But what does sin do? Well, when sin blows up some random ass mountain in the middle of Orn, it's like people don't know what to do with that. All right. After that conversation goes along, I'm going to quickly check the temperature and see if anybody has anything before the next thing happens.
If I don't know if we extended the invitation already, but Athor is gonna ask the Master of Divination if they want to come to that performance. And being a Huldra.
Oh, how kind, Athor. I was already planning on attending. She's actually not Huldra. She's Alfar. She's just from the Lysair Refuge, and she's an aficionado of flame. That's not a mistake Athor would have made.
Okay, gotcha. That's a mistake Leg did make.
Yeah, she...
my elves!
Yeah, but that's fine. She already... my elves! She already has tickets.
Excellent.
But she very much appreciates the invitation.
I have some friends who'd love to see you there. So wear something ostentatious. That was really weird.
Roll a persuasion check to see how weird that was.
Oh no.
26.
Somehow it was not weird. It was not weird, and I'm assuming that was not intended with Riz, because whatever the intention was, the intention was conveyed.
That was like, it would really make them happy to see you there.
Mm-hmm.
Not, hey, we're so nice.
All right. At some point in the next few days, Garnet, Cyrus is going to go ahead and take you up on the study offer. And he is a smart boy, so he is actually studying. He's just also flirting at the same time. It's like he actually cares about his grades and your grades and wants both of you to succeed, but he's not going to miss any opportunities for,
He'll like allow the flirting as long as he gets the material. If she feels like he's not getting it and he's slacking, she'll be like,
Nah.
She'll think it's cute, but get him to focus up. But if he's getting it, then we'll just
He's-
resort to mostly flirting on.
He's actually really good at walking the line in terms of that, because like he does actually care about his studies. That date is looming on the horizon. At one point, when the three of you are coming out of class, Henan walks by, carrying a pile of books. Oh, Garnet, Lore, you weren't. I haven't seen you at the studying. Garnet, is everything all right?
Yeah, I'm hosting private lessons. Do you need anything?
Why aren't you studying with the Codex?
Is Cryus not helping you enough?
He's adequate.
High
I'll be,
praise.
I'll be at the next one then.
Good. Athalor, you'll be there?
Yeah, I will. I hope you're having a good day, Hammond.
He thinks it's like he actually has to think about it for a moment. Roll insight checks, please.
Everyone or
Yeah, everyone.
Back in form, baby. Ho!
You still have Light of the Pearl.
Oh yeah.
Okay. A couple of things on this. First off, he is going through mental inventory. When you ask him if he's having a good day, he's deciding that by taking all of the things that are good about today and all the things that are not good about today and like comparing them. It's like he's running the math to
Doing a
see if
quantitative
today
analysis.
is in fact. Yeah. Is today a good day? Ultimately, he says, yes. You also, Garnet, can see that whenever he looks at Athalor, it is appreciatively. But when he finds out that Athalor is going to be there, he is glad, but also relieved in a slightly annoyed way.
What?
wait, how? Wait. It's like two different emotions.
Oh, it's like when something happened, you're like, oh, finally. Or like, oh, thank God. That would have been such a pain in the ass.
I see.
He doesn't want to solo Cryus.
Wants to solo you.
we're gonna 1v1 behind the lockers. Hot on
yeah.
Overwatch style.
She'll smirk at the at the sort of riz that she's picking up on, or the whatever she's picking up there, and is not gonna say anything. Might send a message and like giggle to Mantra about it and like let him know what she's clocking, but it's not gonna tell Athalor.
Watch giggle about it too.
Fucking clue.
All right. Excellent. Are you having a good day?
Yes, thank you. It's remarkably peaceful.
He gives you a smile and then looks expectantly at the other two.
Oh, me too. Yeah, doing great.
Can't complain. Fine day.
You probably could.
Yeah, I try not to.
He nods in understanding and then goes ahead and goes back about his business.
Just side-eyeing Mantra after gossiping about Athalor like 2 feet away.
It's like, will he realize? When will he realize?
Pepe laughed. Does he know?
He likes
He doesn't
crucial
know.
information.
You're
So-
like Miss Tower.
At the I was directed
You're
at
like
you too.
Miss Tower. It's nice. Very calming. It's quite cool there. A little bit humid, but it's not so bad when the humidity isn't warm, you know?
Been much calmer without Cryas, but the Codex needs me after all.
I mean, you did kind of usurp leadership.
Usurped
Yeah.
leadership? Was that how that? Oh. Okay.
I'm doing private lessons with. I don't know if Osiris is here. If he's not here, then we'll be like private lessons. I'd like to keep private.
With
It's fine.
Lurkalay?
Not yet. Well, I guess if a month has gone by, those would have started, but I don't know. We haven't gotten to that point
A
yet.
couple weeks have gone by. They haven't gotten to that point yet. They're still hashing it out because Untermuller has been busy with other things.
Wait.
Which is why all of you have been summoned up to the spire yet again, immediately after this interaction.
Oh boy.
Oh, good.
We have a message from Sapar Ziku.
Oh, good.
And it is on that note that we are going to go to our break. We will be back shortly, folks.
Dun, dun, dun.
Cliffhanger.
That is absolutely the wrong button. This is the right button.
You want to turn on?
Looks out after the fleeing scientist. Abby, go. And then you go over. He's gonna touch the back of the doctor's head with his symbiote hand, and then his hand is gonna transform into the doctor's hand, and he's gonna put it on the orb.
Oh. Yeah, baby.
What does that do?
Something that gnomes didn't expect.
That's a great question. All right, so your armor's broken, you're exerted, you're in the middle of a pile of enemies. It is now your side's turn. How would everybody like to act? Mr. Sir Thomas automatically moves over to Zone 8.
I need to keep taming, or I'm
I'd
gonna
like to
die.
use my turn to give an encourage advantage to Lemon with some inspiring bardic words.
All right, I don't think that is how this works, but it's a time-honored
Bardic
tradition, so
inspiration.
yes,
What-
bardic
what else can a
inspiration.
fucking bard do?
Always bardic inspiration. It's always valid.
You
have a bow!
Tamer, you've got this. These wolves you'll dismiss. With treats and some kibble, you'll leave them remiss.
What?
You're gonna do great!
You're underneath, you know, wrench, screwdriver, acetylene torch, and you manage to disconnect. Now you're gonna have to get it over all these traps and pits and stuff. But on the other hand, you have a flying barbarian.
You have a flying.
Yep,
sword.
flying barbarian. Oh, that's exactly how we're gonna
Weaponized
implement the
flying
ballista, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here I thought you were gonna attach it to the ship, but no.
No.
I
Oh,
am
yeah.
this ship, baby.
Oh yeah.
Airstrike. Danger close.
We're gonna roll into Avernus, and we're not gonna actually have any kind of like doom buggy. We're all gonna be riding on top of just Crozet floating around riding a ballista.
How did you get a blip? No, it's just a flying door.
Fly me close up. I want to hit them with my sword.
Who are we?
The companions of the Crimson Chain. All right.
Do you ever feel like the luck or whatever it is that's gotten you forward is going to run out at some point? Or that you can just keep going forward?
I'm pretty worried about myself all the time, but I consider Garnet a protagonist, so generally she's okay.
What? We're all main characters, and
You're like the main character.
no,
Garnet, you know?
we're all the main characters of this story. Okay, fourth wall just punching. It, like touches Athalor's elven armor. See, this is plot armor.
Okay, good point.
Then tell me everything you believe may have occurred.
You ever heard of the ass snake?
I don't know.
Oh, he said ass snake.
I don't know what they preach where you come from, mortal, but that's not actually a problem. We don't really care. That's, you know, whatever keeps being alive joyful, you keep being alive joyful. That's not my concern.
Arbiter,
Yes, Grandmaster.
you get to jump in on this one.
I come in hot, white, glowing wings flared out. I've got the cheapest metal chair that you could possibly find. It's like I've got 10 or 20 years of repressed rage behind this chair. I'm rolling to hit with this chair. Oh, that's good. That's good. That'll hit. That's 16.
You have carte blanche aside from that.
Cool. So thinking kind of like, because it's pocket dimension and shape-shifting, but maybe it's kind of like a Venom-esque arrangement where it's a dimensional parasite. That so like when he absorbs things into his hand, maybe it's like a fucking, oh no, I've done it again. Maybe it's a teethy hand that like a toothy hole.
Could you please just once not consort with otherworldly powers from beyond the scope of human imagination? Just once, Light Day.
I refuse. There's too much empty headspace here with my lack of a brain to not have another thing in there.
Okay, there's a hunter's mark on him. Spend that inspiration and go ahead and drop that spell in the chat.
I don't have any.
Yeah, you do.
It's okay.
You have
I
one.
do?
Yeah, you have one from chat. You can burn it.
Friendship.
Yeet.
Okay, so he has to succeed on a strength saving throw. He's a pretty strong guy.
Well,
Not
you know
one.
what?
Fuck it.
What if you don't?
Oh.
What if you don't?
She's the most powerful wizard in history.
I can't believe I'm using my last legendary resistance on a freaking level 2 spell.
Ariana's the goat.
Okay, legendary resistance. They're assassins. They're basically ninjas, you know? Dexterity is what they're good at. That said, they don't have evasion. They all take the damage in the face. They're all significantly weakened. And you blow a hole in the side of the tent, and Untermaler is going to roll a dexterity saving throw.
Oh shit.
Oops. He's
oh, these
fine.
damn kids and their pheromones.
He's fine.
Back in my day, you did 5 minutes of trigonometry to make sure no one was in the blast radius.
Well, you guys didn't teach me that. I was born this way, so.
Aria, Garnet said like high fiving. Yes, slay, queen.
Yeah, slay. Actually, slay them.
All right. So he's just standing there minding his own goddamn business when a giant fireball goes off and singes him for 21 points of damage.
Ooh, addition.
Hunting horns, strength to the predators, woe to the prey. All right. That means somebody has to assert their dominance to gain an advantage. Whoever doesn't is we call that the Alexander bookmark.
Oh yeah. I forgot about that.
All right.
Got a stick in the book.
Thank you for ruining the subtlety of that entire moment. Just flat out saying it.
I remember leg day saying it. It's just so funny.
Oh God,
To
editing
clear the
that
air,
was
there's
so
there's
funny.
no dick in the book. Just to clear the
I mean,
air.
he has his
no
back.
dick in the book.
Well,
Just
he's-
two
he's got
vague,
the book back.
sweaty stains.
Walking to Alex's area, it's gonna be.
No wonder
Oh,
he went and
gosh.
stole it.
Yeah, I needed it back.
Small girls, just checking.
No, grown men can live for sword, Garnet.
Well,
Would you like
I
to
could
try?
eat a soul. I could eat a soul like a snack.
But I'm more thinking practical terms about swinging this fucking massive sword.
Well, what if
And
it turns him
honestly,
evil?
I'm sorry, but
Evil
your
Chad?
arms are small and noodly.
Matra, my arms are not noodly.
Macha comes walking
Minus
back
2
from the meeting. He's like, what did I just walk in on?
Oh, Matra isn't here. Oh, but then-
sword.
Yeah, you open the door. The sword is just like covered with evil runes on the floor on a plate. And you just see Garnet going,
My arms are noodly, right?
Do you
Right,
think
yo.
you live that, Zweihander?
Yeah, you try it.
Your arms aren't noodly, but that thing is pretty big.
And evil.
And apparently evil. What is that?
Alex melts away and vanishes, replaced by Cyrus.
In handcuffs?
This is a check of the public scuff system. Could I get each of you to talk, please?
Scuff check.
Hello. Hello.
She speaks my language.
All right. Well, I see bars moving here, and unless chat complains, I'm going to go ahead and do Game of Thrones now. Okay, so Game of Thrones. Welcome back to Book of Dawn, Ioth Academy, the D&D campaign of god-slaying, army-fighting, world-shattering stakes that from time to time remembers that it's a Magic Academy show. Tormented by gnomes, joined by Crow and Legday and Lemon Kiwi. When last we left our heroes after a brief encounter with their classmate Hennon Brooke, who Darina and Renobi suspect may be carrying a flame for Athalor. An encounter that left enigmatic hints regarding the veracity of such rumors. Our heroes have once again been called away by the larger issues of the world. The realm that invoked the three winds against Ioth Academy to choke off its supply of elemental power has sent a summons. And our heroes are on their way up to the office to find out why. Do you want to proceed directly to the office?
Hell yeah.
Yup.
Okay. Untermuller and Elnau are the only ones gathered there. Could I get insight checks from all of you, please?
Oh, good roll.
Bruh. Get him out of the way.
What's
right.
happening? We're about to still giggling over the hen and
We're all just
thing.
gossiping about Athalor.
Athalor's dialed in for the inside. We're like, look at this stupid fuck.
All right.
Students. Ever since Saparziku and the 3 surviving winds lashed out at us, I have been working to resolve this situation peacefully. With limited results. Every time that we met to make discussions, they had the same demands. They wanted those responsible for the death of Boreas to be turned over to them to face justice. A demand which obviously we were not prepared to make. But something has changed. I don't know why. Saparziku their populace has shifted from wrath to grief. And the one who should inherit the throne of the Priest King of the North has asked to meet with all of you under a sign of peace.
What happened
good
to
sign.
that last Priest King?
When Boreas died, he was a king without a god. Saparziku is ruled by 4.
Oh.
And the Priest King of the North Wind has departed their post. Perhaps a crisis of faith, perhaps a ceremonial choice. We have not spoken with him, but with his would-be successor. This successor cannot inherit the mantle of Priest King until the high day of the 4 winds, which is coming in winter. But they want to speak with us and meet with us before then. They have offered to do so, as I said, under an oath of peace. Despite the urgings of the Knights of Terra Nimbus, who we have seen in their city.
What are their oaths worth?
They swore that so long as you were within their realm, within their city for the purposes of this meeting, Saparziku shall not allow any harm to befall you. Now, they are not a Fey people. The people of the winds are perhaps mercurial and wrathful and passionate, but earnest. I see no reason not to take them at their word. But we would be traveling to their city to meet with them. I will not demand that you do this, as yet again this is another situation that children, even ones as accomplished as yourselves, should not be thrust into. But if we do not restore the elemental gates, then it will take all that we have to face the challenges approaching us. Between Ioth and the Southern Triad, I fear we have need of every ounce of power we can get.
Seems like this is the best opportunity then. Take them up on this.
Are you willing?
Sure.
I would attend.
He gives you a look, Garnet. At your sort of casual response to this serious matter, but he doesn't say anything.
She's just thinking about other things and is just going through the motions.
Mm-hmm.
I will inform them that we agree. When the time and place are chosen, you will be made aware. Thank you.
Do I have to go to this? I didn't. No.
I didn't do
anything. I didn't kill a.
You are not required, Mason.
But like for moral support?
Yeah, I mean, I'll come along and just like if things go wrong and people start, I just That wasn't.
You will be accompanied by a full escort, of course. But if you wish to accompany them, Mason, then that's fine.
Yeah.
Perhaps even for the best. In such times, companions are critical. Make whatever preparations are necessary, and I would ask you not to let this interfere with your studies, but don't let the headmistress hear me say this.
Elnau is right next to him and just looks over.
But this is a higher priority than grades.
I will bear that in mind when I'm taking your final.
That's true.
Mason just nods aggressively at this is more important than finals. Like, oh yeah, no, I need to be there, guys. I
gotta be there. I can't study, guys. I'm getting ready for my friend's trial.
Yeah, exactly. It's very important. I need to support them wholeheartedly.
And if
Mason
questions
illegal film.
about Saparziku happen to be on my final, Athalor, then you will have no excuse not to have thoroughly prepared.
Oh, I'm sure I'll know plenty about the Knights of Terranimbus by the time we're done.
That's all that he had for you. Bring you up to speed. He'll let you know when they're going to make the arrangements, but he leads you to believe that it will be soon. Other than that, he's going to dismiss you.
I guess as we're all walking out, if didn't already do so, Mason would tell Athalor and Garnet about the volcano went kind of kaboom in the Oran tribe lands, and Stone Abbey's getting raided by a sinister horde, and it's not looking good.
Stone Abbey. They're the people that regressed, right? They were
they? Oh,
technically minded. And then they had a kind of an iconoclasm. And, well, regressed might be a bad word for it, but paranoia took over.
Yeah. But it's not looking great with how aggressive the Mr. Horde has been being.
Can I make an intelligence check, Gnomes, to think about the technical significance of Stone Abbey and its lands?
Yeah, you can do history if you'd like.
Cool. Let me hit a history. So we're aware of the choke point fortress that's already been taken. And that's about all that Athalor's aware of right now.
Correct. And you'd be aware of the fact that the Iron Empire waged a lightning-fast war so they could declare war on Naramu. They just seized this castle and then just kept marching into Naramu.
And Naramu is currently being attacked from two sides?
Correct. The designers haven't arrived yet. Early in the war, the designers attacked and were defeated. Their assault was repelled. But their second, they've been rebuilding their forces and they're back on the march.
This is Brontha's army, right?
No.
Oh, which one of these is
This one is Brontha's army in the capital.
Gotcha.
Inaros has set up, because Naramu's armed forces are just gone. Inaros has set up in the capital, basically as saying, if you come and attack us, you're declaring war on Brontha, and Brontha will come after you. It forces any would-be attackers to make that choice. This is an army from the Prowlands. The Prowlands are a nomadic, anarchic collection of different people who dwell in these dry grasslands down here. Not all Tabaxi, but a lot of Tabaxi. And they have been, the Sinister Horde has allowed them to pass through their lands, and they've been not waging war, but pillaging, raiding Stone Abbey and Naramu. So they've just like made their way all the way up this far, and they're just like stealing food and yoinking treasure and basically taking advantage of the chaos.
Just war looters.
Exactly. Exactly. And Izizadu has also marched south to similarly hold Naraman settlements to force any would-be attackers to make their push. So they're sort of shoring up that side, but there haven't been any big victories yet for the priest kingdoms. And by all accounts, all of Stone Abbey is like in ruins. Their armies are just completely gone, and their settlements are being sacked and burned one by one. Complete rout.
They could all be wiped out. They mostly live underground, I think. So maybe their odds of escape are a lot lower. And it's a very concentrated area. Do we know anyone from Stone Abbey?
I don't know if any of the Stone Abbey students, there are students from Stone Abbey. I don't know if any of them are close friends of yours. I think at least one of the people who left and joined the Dark Academy and has since gone completely missing was from Stone Abbey. But I don't think any of your student friends are from there.
What was the thing that Sven was most concerned about with this? Was it Stone Abbey or?
Yeah, just like the loss of life, the destruction of culture, just the crisis.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So like there are a handful of students in the Codex, some people that you might know who were from there, but no major characters at this point.
Yeah, we wanted to let you guys know we want to be able to do something, but I don't know what to do about it or if there is anything to be done, which is sad.
I'll give it a think. I don't know if there's much we have the power to do at this point. A similar operation to Naramu, maybe, but I don't know if they have a centralized kind of leadership core that we can get out, like Naramu did in their capital. I assume that Stone Abbey's capital was probably the first that the Ithacans went after. Not the
Probably.
Ithacans, the Iron Empire.
Yeah.
Can I do a quick book check, Gnomes, to see if there is any political relationship between Stone Abbey and Saparziku? Or what Stone Abbey's kind of political network is? Who's their major ally? Oh,
They are +1 XP. They're fairly isolationist, all things considered. They deliberately built for themselves a very reclusive lifestyle because they're basically, they went from being sophisticated technologically to or organizing everything around avoiding political corruption, avoiding infernal corruption.
What's their major economic impact on the world at the moment? Do they have one, or are they mostly like subsistence living, self-sufficiency?
Mostly subsistence living, self-sufficient. They actually were doing some exchange with the Prowlands before the Prowlands started raiding the shit out of them.
Are there any like nations or whatever like in that area that have a military force that's like not actively being used right now? That's like mostly like a neutral force.
Priest kingdoms like Nahasu is just they have to worry about being invaded from two sides, so they're helping however they can, but not militarily. Tazqualrin is militarily neutral and they're not super powerful. They used to be part of the same culture as Stone Abbey. They're still a technocracy. They just weren't hit by the brunt of Anachronis's corruption. So like there's several way over here, but they're pretty far. And the Avi just lost massive wars against the Iron Empire. Like they're crushed into dust right now. They're barely hanging on. There's not a lot of friends in the area who don't already have problems.
Do we know the location of that Dune Rider army that some of the Naramans were with?
Yes. They're on a fort right at the edge of the Kara Salt Wastes. The Dune Riders are the only ones who know the secret paths through Kara. But Defraxis has their armies along the same border. If the Dune Riders leave, like they've been itching to avenge Naramu, but if they leave right now, they leave the path wide open for Defraxis.
I thought the two from Naramu were already on the march, might be.
Oh, that's not an army. You have heard stories, though, about a pair of lovers wielding flame and swords in a dance of death together. Those rumors are spreading around. It doesn't seem like they've hit the lands of the Sinister Horde, but stories are starting to spread.
They've kind of got like a bit of a martyrdom militia going on.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Okay. I don't know enough about Stone Abbey. If they had thought leaders we could get out. How did you and Sven hear about this?
How did Sven hear about it?
She's been talking. I mean, she has friends from Izizudu in Priest Kingdoms who are all sort of hearing rumors about this. There are other students from Stone Abbey who would have gotten sending messages or just lost contact. She doesn't have like up-to-date information about all the armies and stuff. She just knows it's really bad.
Okay.
Rumor has gotten out.
She knows some people from Stone Abbey, has friends in Priest Kingdoms in those places in the area. Of course, her main thing right now is wanting to, make change, impact the world, so she's keeping pretty up to date with as much as she can about all this.
I don't know how to, but if you have a plan, you can count on my help.
Thank you. Try to think of something. I know people are busy trying to defend themselves with what, little they have against the Iron Empire and all this infernal stuff, but maybe we'll try some miracle to rally up some people, some defenses to come to Stone Abbey's defense. Don't know how possible it is, but if there's anything that you can do to help, I'll let you know.
When it comes to Iron Empire campaigns, do they usually end in tributary states, or are they usually annexation focused?
It's usually focused on breaking their will and taking their land.
Okay, so the northern Ithgos, where we've got a lot more tributary states, is that a little bit out of the ordinary?
Yeah, it's unusual.
Okay.
And there are, like, I'm not giving you the full blow-by-blow CNN of everything that's going on in the world, just the rumors that would have reached you. But the Iron Empire in, like, the rest of the North has been seizing land and growing. So.
Okay.
Beef, unless there's anything else in that scene.
Maybe we'll have more options after Sapazico if we can convince them to give us the Wellsprings back.
True.
The Academy would have access to a lot more resources.
I hope the Academy would want to do something about it, but it seems the Academy's approach, as of the past few years at least, if not, I mean, a lot more, is just to worry about themselves.
After all,
But
kind
maybe
of
Elnau will be different
gives-
about it.
gives you a more conversational tone. We came to them with a plan about Naramu and they did something.
That is true.
We need concrete ideas and it will happen. We're making sure that's not the case anymore.
Just kind of slowly nods to it, realizing there's a point there.
Garnet, have you just been sort of walking back with them this entire time? Did the two of you split off from Garnet before you had this conversation? Was this an aside?
That's entirely up to Garnet.
I think like she doesn't want to say something to upset Mantra, but the vibe is that she's either reading a book or just more looking into Inaros's group's movement, because she's very much on the tone of she wants to focus on one battle at a time, and ideally the ones that involve the Academy or our homes, and anyone else is not uncared about, but just tertiary to what is important. But she doesn't want to say that out loud. But there's a sense of like, I'm focusing on more important things right now. She's like reading and lets them talk, and you know.
Listen, they cut themselves off and played isolationist. Eh.
Okay. Anything else from the squad before I move to the next scene?
I'm good.
Okay. 2 weeks into the month, with 2 weeks to go until the first final. The mid-month holiday is coming up. It's effectively between Saturday and Sunday on the second week of the month. Every month has one of these. These are usually the feast days of the various titans. In this particular case, the titan being celebrated is Ramius, the cupbearer, whose duty was to pour the blood of life into the veins of newly born creatures. The sole creation of Erekura. No other sovereign had a hand in Ramius's creation. Her son, as far as you could consider such things, if those words really apply here. And Ramius has been very remote, very distant for the last few hundred years, not long after the death of Erekura. The priest kingdom of Ramius is a neighbor of Saparziku. And as time has progressed, they've become more secular, more focused on day-to-day matters, more decadent. Still going through the motions of the rites of the cupbearer, but more and more disillusioned and detached and focused on other affairs. If their god doesn't have time for them, the attitude goes, do we have time for him? It is on Ramius's holy day that Saparziku has decided to hold this meeting, to call you. It is the exact opposite day of the year. It is on the other side of the calendar to the day of the high holy day of the Four Winds, I think. And so it seems the most appropriate, the most neutral. You've all been notified of this. You know that this is coming up shortly. You have 1 day of weekend to prepare. And it is on that precise day that Cyrus's date down in the grotto is scheduled for. Basically the evening before you're off to Saparziku to, I don't know, face judgment, confront them, whatever that's going to be. Garnet, for this date, he is very nicely dressed, but also a little bit rugged, like not hiking, but, you know, he's going into a cave. So he's got his boots on. It's not slippers all the way down for Cyrus. He's got his boots on. And he has... Roll a perception check for me, please. Okay. He has a basket of food that he's cooked and prepped, but he also has something else that he is hiding.
In the
It-
basket of food?
Yes, it's fairly large.
Is that a Glock 18?
And as usual, he is polite and friendly and immediately. How are you like prepping or getting? Are you like rushing from studies to go off and do this? Are you like taking a few hours to get ready? What's the vibe?
Probably isn't gonna take that much time to get ready because she's just in the books and she wants to
Mhm.
absolutely ace every test. So it's
Mhm.
like straight from, oh shit, I got a date in 15 minutes, and just will brush her hair and put a proper pair of shoes on. But other than that, and she shows up like, I don't know how long it's been since they've really gone on a date or seen each other, but it's a bit not uncomfortable, but still
A lot of
settling
stuff.
in.
Yeah, a lot of stuff has happened between, even if it wasn't that long ago. It's been very eventful. Give me an insight check, please. 22.
I'm killing these rolls.
Yeah.
2 19s in a row.
On fire today. Okay. He says that you're beautiful, and he means it. So if the not being dressed up doesn't impress him, it doesn't seem to have made any effect whatsoever. And he'll go ahead and take you via flying carpet down to the grotto, which is the lowest of the 4 lodges. It's the one that is still high above the Undercroft, but it is the one that is geographically lowest in the sphere. From the outside, it looks like an enormous geode with crystal formations just like breaking out of it. And the pathways that lead in and out of it, there's no surface. The surface is just rocky, craggy. You could probably climb on it with the right equipment, but there's no like houses or anything there. All of it is underground. It
She's
occurs
not
to
a
him.
fan because she's like likes the sunlight and the nature, and this seems like the opposite. And also I think the whole hag stuff has made her worried that he could be a target of anything. So that's what sort of she's been deep in thought about, of like what company she's keeping, and at what moment the next strike will come, and where is this third hag? They've got to be here somewhere. So if they're going into any cave, she's like watching the structure of it and looking at her traps low key and being extra careful.
When you get there, it's not like just a cave network, right? It's actually really big and hollow inside. There's a huge open space in the middle of it. The pathways and the tunnels are widely carved, magically illuminated. In some places, they've been carved with like cool architectural stuff, and other places magic has clearly been used to preserve as much of the original look as possible. Like instead of columns for support, it's stalagmites and stalactites that have been encouraged to fuse together. So the whole inside almost looks like a natural cathedral. If you think of that sweeping architecture, that kind of high Gothic beauty that you see, and stained glass windows and stuff, that, except if it was all just grown over the course of not millions of years, because, you know, Anakra has young earth creationist shit going on. But that's the vibe. Just these beautiful, beautiful formations. This is not a dank cavern. It's a hobbit hole, and that means comfort. I mean, it's like a place where people live and work. It's well lit. It's well illuminated. There's natural, like, okay, they're not natural, but there's springs and water, and it's actually pretty, it's beautiful. It's not the open sky. It's not the open sunlight, but it's not dark either.
Objection, Your Honor. That sounds dank as fuck.
I mean the conventional meaning of dank.
Like, she probably wouldn't care about much of the rocks, but once she sees the crystals and the shininess and the springs and how nice it is on the inside, she's like, oh, okay. And starts to enjoy it, takes a second to look at it, and it's feeling more romantic.
He takes you on a walk. He's clearly done some scouting of this area. It's not like an area that he knows super well. He doesn't tell you this, but he's been like specifically searching for beautiful places on campus to take you. So this wasn't on his list until he scouted it out. And there's kids because this is freaking kindergarten. It's first years through fourth years. Like it's another one. You went to the Grove, but it's not all that. Just like the Grove has open forests and stuff, he ends up leading you off the beaten path into an area that is more like a cave, like a cavern. That's why he kind of put on his big boy boots. He uses magical illumination and stuff and sort of leads you the way. It's mostly a smooth path. It's not like a nice smooth paved path. It's uneven ground. There's some places where you have to climb. No places where you really have to squeeze, but there's one place where you kind of have to crawl through a tunnel at the very end. Your back isn't touching the top, but you can't stand up in that tunnel. It probably takes you a good half hour to make your way there.
At some point, like while they're going through like now the more difficult parts, she's like, "How far are we going?
Every time you ask that, he says, "We're almost there."
Are we there yet? Are we there yet? No.
Finally, on arrival, oh god damn it, the cavern opens up. There is a mineral pool off to the side. There's a spring sort of bubbling up. The roof goes up pretty high, and there are mineral deposits through here so that all of the rock, it's not like crystalline, it's still stone. But if you've ever seen the way that gneiss or certain types of granite or slate have lots of speckles in them that catch the light and reflect it, that's what it's like. The whole chamber has this sort of interior sparkly shininess to it.
She's looking up in like wonderment and looking at everything. Now the trek has been worth it. She's not comfortable going through small spaces. At least, yeah.
Yeah, he forgot to ask. That's a strike against our boy.
Did not do a safety survey.
Exactly. But he sets out the picnic for the two of you, and it's quiet here, but also echoey, and you have the running water to sort of provide background noise, but you need to speak in low tones or your voice will like echo around, which creates this automatically more intimate, close environment because the two of you have to be like somewhat quiet talking to each other, which means you have to be closer to each other. Sets up the spread and reveals that he brought a bottle of wine.
Oh, my boy! I'd tap him up if I wasn't Garnet.
That he is definitely not supposed to have.
Where'd you get that from?
Where'd you get that from? You have your sources, I have mine.
Okay. And she'll like just hand him her glass for him to fill.
And yeah, like that's basically the date. He is not going to get super serious on you. He is going to try to keep the conversation away from school if at all possible. Like if you want to talk about it, he'll talk about it, but he's trying to keep the atmosphere comfortable and not on boring topics. Whereabout is Garnet's head? Like he set the mood, he said all of this stuff. Whereabout is Garnet's head in all of this? Is she able to keep up in that space? Is she not able to stay away from like other topics? Where's she at?
Can he roll for Riz to see if he's good at getting her out of her head?
Yes.
Can you roll something? Can I ask for a roll?
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. Incorrect. Does he get advantage for setting the scene, or is that not relevant?
Sure. Yeah,
cool.
sure.
Right. You've
He's
just
in a
taken your
good
first step
mood.
towards being a DM. Congratulations.
Ooh, okay. So the wine definitely helps kind of relax her a bit, and it's nice to be away from everything. And it's just being after time goes by, she's more comfortable being closer to him and like holding hands or like leaning on his shoulder, like being more intimate like that. She just only is doing small talk because there's the only thing she's thinking about is fucking war and people trying to kill her. So she doesn't really know what to talk about.
Right.
But if he has anything he wants to inquire about, just kind of letting him direct the conversation.
He definitely asks things like trying to get out of you just how you are without going into super serious topics. He does genuinely want to know how you're doing and how you're feeling and just that kind of stuff. Surface level, but meaningful, if that makes sense.
Yeah, well, I'm really excited because I'm going to be taking some extracurricular lessons, and I feel really good about my studying, and it's nice to see you after so long. Got some trips that we're helping Taller with, but that should go. I'm not really worried. But there's threats all over, so I'm just glad to not to bring the mood down, but I am glad to just be here with you and away from all that.
He responds with a murmured, "I'm glad too," and goes in more aggressively than usual for a kiss.
It's just kissing him back.
Yeah. Like
very glad he's being more commanding with it.
Yeah. Like in this environment, you can tell he's being a little bit more aggressive, not like still respectful and not crossing lines, but like he brought you to make out point.
Oh, I get it. I get it. At this point, she's just like, also on her mind of like, never had a boyfriend before. How does this shit go? Like, is he supposed to ask? Fuck, I forgot to ask Mantra, like, how him and Sven became official. And I've been so busy gossiping about Athalor that I kind of forgot about my own situation.
What will Anaris think?
And then yeah, she's also like thinking about Inaros in not like a romantic way, but in just like one of those like she cares about him, but it doesn't think it's romantic, but maybe is just naive to the fact that it could be. So she's just not pressing any matters with Cyrus. Like she's not trying to rush anything, and she's not going to even ask about the officialness of anything. She's just happy to make out for a while and is assuming that he's okay with that too because he hasn't brought it up. So
yep,
hell yeah. Wait, is Garnet publicly betrothed?
Oh yeah, I think we went through this that the betrothal was like sort of publicly off, or at least on pause. And Cyrus was like,
it's diplomatically officially on pause. Publicly implies a degree of public awareness that may or may not exist at this time. The parties privy to the actual betrothal have had words.
Go on, Cyrus, be the bad boy. Don't care. Kiss her.
Well, yeah, because there was a date where she told him not to worry about that because it wasn't going to happen. But that was before all the pressure came out of the Dune writers about it. It was like, I don't want to marry him, so it's not going to happen. And type of announcement. And he was like, okay, kisses, you know?
Yeah, that seems to be where he's at right now. If he's at all bothered, he's not letting himself be bothered.
Hell yeah, Cyrus.
And then, like, eventually at some point, when all track of time has been lost and the two of you decide to move on, he'll go ahead and bring you back to your room and whatnot.
And she'll, like, kind of grasp his hand before, like, she drops him off. And could I have more of those potions of dreaming that you made me that one time?
I'll get right on it.
Great. She turns away and had no intention of dreaming about him with it. She is just thinking about the whole dream shit with Naomi and all that stuff. And
but
how
he doesn't know that.
Yeah.
All right. Does anybody have any matters to tend to before all of you gain a long rest and we proceed to Ramius's holy day?
I'm good.
Okay. What preparations, if any, will you make for traveling? You will be using a teleportation circle, so you'll be relieved to hear that Elnau will not be responsible for casting a unguided teleport.
Athalor's doing his most like Underood pilled outfit and would encourage Garnet to look very Bronthan. So like if they start shit with us, there's the understanding that there's going to be like some geopolitical consequences there.
Right.
Yeah, she'll come in some official gear.
Mm-hmm.
All princessy and shit.
Yeah.
Looking Bronthan af.
Mm-hmm.
I would ask Mantra if it was to join in, you know. Come cosplay your tribe.
Yeah, I suppose. I probably would think about it like, so I'm not like actively involved. Maybe that's a bad thing, but no, like, okay, yeah, let's show up and kind of like full force kind of thing. It's like you're fucking with a bunch of people if you fuck with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also it stops you from looking like our assistant, which
Yeah.
You need to look regal and important.
I'll try my best.
Just looking at a couple of things here real quick. Okay, cool. All right. Before you go, Untermaler is going to issue scrolls of mage armor for anybody who would benefit from it to just activate that now.
Yep.
I believe that makes your armor class equal what, like 13 plus dex?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
How long does it last? Like
8 hours. In Baldur's Gate, it lasts until your next long rest.
Mm.
A whole bunch of wardens and war mages join you. Elnau is wielding the staff of Ioth and like wearing headmistress of the academy, like you, full-fledged official gear. Untermaler is wearing white. Like white and gold robes are typical for the academy, but this particular outfit that he wears in his official diplomatic duties has a lot more white than gold, but it also has the gray silver tower icon of the Tower of War, giving that I speak on behalf of peace, but I speak softly and I carry a big stick vibe. And the lot of you gather and step into the teleportation circle. And the heat, you're protected from the heat of the desert in the golden sphere most of the time. It's climate controlled. You've been out in Naramu and the deserts outside of the academy at the Bronthan War Camp. You kind of know what the blasted sun-swept lands are like. They're called that for a reason. Safarziku is by the ocean, and their capital city is located on a massive cliff overlooking the water. It goes up to like a shocking altitude. You can see it from very, very far away. And you find yourselves in this city for the first time.
Ooh. Map.
Hi.
Map.
Map.
The vibe here is very, very different. First off, upon arrival, all these places, most places that have a teleportation circle, keep it guarded. The guards here, you're not greeted by uniformed Knights of Terra Nimbus. It's an assortment of peoples. Many of them are Goliaths. 7 to 8 feet tall, sort of stony skin. Not the kind of people that you would immediately associate with gods of the air, since they have this like rocky, mountainous climb to them. Strong looking, wielding huge weapons. They're wearing armor, but they're also wearing furs because you're that high up. The wind gets, even though you're like in a Mediterranean climate, This place is so tall, the altitude is so high that the moment you arrive, you can feel the chill and you can immediately hear the wind whistling through the canyons and the cliffs and the steps of this place. There's other sorts of folks too. There's humans, there are wind dwarves, many of whom have like wild red hair. There are multiple people you can see an elemental heritage in them. Air Ganassi, with this like blue skin and their hair, their very light white hair flowing in a wind that isn't necessarily the same wind that everyone else is feeling. It's much more of a mishmash. This isn't a consolidated army. This isn't Brontha's Radiant Pikes or Phoenix Knights. This is like a bunch of fighters, a bunch of warriors. But you do immediately get the feeling that however assorted and disparate they may be, you're the outsiders.
Athor gives a little head bow.
Mm-hmm.
Is the air thin here at all?
Yes.
Or is it not quite that high?
No, it's pretty high. It's not like to the point where you have to start making con checks. But their sports teams, if they ever go down to low altitude, will just clean the crap out of everybody else because they're acclimated to the low oxygen environment. You are, I'm not going to use the word greeted. The word greeted might be excessive.
Acknowledged.
You are met by, oh, I need to be in the correct window for that. You are met by a group. You may have to zoom in. This map is absolutely huge.
Hello.
One of them is clear, I think, yeah. One of them is clearly a Goliath. She has a red hood, gray hair, plate armor that almost looks like it's made of stone. It's so just absolutely dense. She is very imposing, and her expression is completely flat. You're just getting absolutely nothing out of her. There is also an Air Ganassi wearing a small crown with 3 icicles on it. A wolf, like a winter fox amulet. And when she breathes, the air around her gets colder. There's another woman there. Can I get Garnet to roll a identify magical creatures check, please?
One
With
moment.
Arcana.
Okay.
17. Okay, she's a fae. She's an ice fae of some kind. She has flesh and hair as white as snow and eyes as blue as glacial ice. She is barefoot in the cold, and there's a curved knife at her side. But in front of all of them, leading the expedition, is this woman. With flowing white hair, very, very pale, light blue skin, and green, very striking green, almost bluish green eyes. I'd like each of you to choose history, insight, perception, or investigation.
I'll take history with a codex die.
Ooh, okay.
23.
What?
Damn, not bad. Okay. Garnet with a 16. You recognize a lot of her garb that she's wearing. You have seen, this is not quite the same, but you have seen this before when Terra Nimbus attacked the Academy. The Knights of Terra Nimbus almost abducted or threw Ariana to her death.
but there was a warrior there, a chosen of Boreas. She's wearing very similar, like a lot of the same symbols and motifs in her clothing, but it says to you warrior, but also a more important ceremonial role. Athalor, you identify this woman as Zabilu, and she is the high priest of Boreas. Sorry, she was the high priest of Boreas.
Currently unemployed. Related.
Yes.
Mhm.
And Mantra with an 11 on insight. You cannot get a read on her at all. She's wearing it's almost like a smirk, but that could just be her face. That could just be like resting smirk face.
True. I don't know her. Never seen her.
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of difficult exactly to say. Give me 1 second here. Untermaler.
Boreas, is this mostly a matriarchy?
No, it's very egalitarian. The former priest king of Boreas identified as male. This particular group that has come out to greet you, they do all seem to present as female. But knowing what you know, you got a very high roll on your history. So you know that Saparziku is ruled by a quadripartite, right? 4 priest kings at any given time. And depending on which of the 4 winds you align with, that greatly informs your values, your culture, a lot of different things. So there are these 4 very, very prevalent subcultures within Saparziku. None of them are inherently matriarchal or patriarchal, however.
I thought it was a polite bow of his head. High priest, it's an honor.
And I like holds back a smirk or a laugh when he says like kind of addresses her so highly, and she just kind of like matches the energy that they're giving, half smirking, whether that's conniving or happy is.
Okay. Untermaler formally presents the Archmage of Ioth Academy, Ikael now. And Zabilu speaks up and says, yes, we know her. He also presents Athalor on Onderud, Garnet of Brontha, Garnet Tosaka of Brontha, and Mason of the Arx tribe.
Give a little bow.
Why are you here?
That to me?
Yeah. Zabilu just asked you, why are you here?
Am I not allowed here?
Not what I asked.
To accompany my friend.
So you had no hand in...
No.
This way. And she just turns and starts walking. It's like a power walk. It's a very like, get out of the way, I am coming through walk. The enormous Goliath warden falls in behind the group of you. Roll perception. No, I'm not going to have you roll perception checks. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you that the atmosphere is clearly tense and uncomfortable, but doesn't feel like an ambush.
What's the vibe of the retinue? The two that presumably are staying with the priestess.
Insight, please.
That's a 23, my doggy.
Grief, mourning,
there is a certain dread that people feel. The closest thing I can compare it to is going into the courtroom to testify against somebody who committed a violent crime, where going there means facing them, possibly reliving that moment, or just if you've never seen them before, coming face to face with the person who did this. So it is opening of wounds that were stitched at best before, but they are doing their best not to show those feelings.
Athor kind of shares this information with the group as quietly as possible.
Surreptitiously.
Garnet's very on edge. She feels like they're just going to turn around and blast them at any moment. So she's just not got a spell cocked, but she's like ready for them to throw hands.
Okay. You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and do a... Okay. The lady with the ice crown is watching you.
Wait,
Garnet.
me or everyone? Oh.
You.
Why is she like walking in front of us or beside us or
Beside,
behind us?
you've got the enormous Goliath behind you, the ice crown lady, and the ice maiden on either side, and Zabilu ahead of you.
Is she watching me like sussy like?
You get the impression that she is also arcane trained. And is like
counter spell.
Yeah, basically is like, okay, I'm not ready in action right now. Kind of like you're not ready in action right now, but if anything happens, you're gonna start blasting. She's not ready in action right now, but if she sees you cast anything, she's gonna start blasting. That kind of thing. The hand isn't on the gun, but she sees you, she sees the gun, and she's got her eyes on it.
And she kind of gives her like a smirk and the same kind of vibe of like, you don't know if it's a friendly or like a
Do you think you're fast enough?
yeah, and just kind of hits her with the
Enjoy
as
the
they're
vibe,
walking, just gives her a toodles, but uses kind of a minor illusion to make it like a flamey type of hand of using the opposite element of her, and is gonna keep walking and will turn her head away from her in dominance of I don't give a fuck what you do, just looking forward.
Roll an intimidation check to assert dominance.
Oh shit.
Hell yeah.
Okay. I mean, you turned away from her, so you don't really see what you're doing, but you feel like you're presenting authority.
Just got a bit warmer in here.
It's like less like trying to intimidate her, and more she does not want to look intimidated.
Right. You're not threatening, but you're
I know, bitch. You know,
exactly.
Mama ain't raised no
Mama ain't
bitch.
raised no bitch. That's exactly what I was. That was actually literally what I was thinking. Okay. Give me one moment, because they are going to walk you to the very edge of the cliffs.
Oh, throw us. Great. This is Sparta fucking kick.
Well, I mean, I'll let you be the judge of
Valid.
that as soon as I play the next map. As soon as I put the next map up, I'll let you decide that. I'm probably going to turn off dynamic lighting for this as well. Yeah, I'll turn off dynamic lighting. That's fine. It's not nighttime.
So who bought Featherfall?
You have the ring, don't you?
Do
I think,
Someone has the
I
ring of
think
Featherfall.
Mason has the ring.
I do have the ring.
Everyone grab on.
Hold on to Mason. Oh damn, we got an Eerie. We got the moon door. Well, I
Yeah.
guess this one's more of a sun door.
They got. Those are in fact the vibes. They have a Sparta pit into oblivion. Elnell, by the way, is making no effort to appear even the slightest repentant or like self-conscious or anything. She and Garnet are very much on the same page right now. I'm the fucking Archmage.
I'm the fucking G.
Mm-hmm.
G for Garnet.
All right. If it comes down to it, I will put a bunch of wardens and war mages on the map. But if it doesn't come down to it, that's a lot of wasted effort.
Okay.
Could I get some religion checks, please?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh.
Okay.
Come on, mantra.
I don't know what's going on. I'm just here for supports.
Right. This is a temple. This is a temple to the Four Winds. Not specifically to Boreas, but just to the Four Winds in general. While this enormous hole that is like a very, very, very long distance from the jagged sea cliffs below absolutely could be used for sacrificing mortals, that is not its functional purpose. That is not what it is for. It is where they would throw people to their death, but it's also where they would throw bodies ceremonially, like for the honored dead. This is not necessarily like a court of judgment. This is a holy temple, but it has a similar purpose to Kalor's court in Brontha, where it's a temple, but it's also a meeting place. There are two chosen of Boreas acting as guards on the cliffs on either side. There are also others here that I don't want to action figure. Let's just suffice to say there are wardens, there are military personnel from Ioth Academy and warriors from Sapar Ziku and spellcasters from both gathered together. Zabalu turns to face all of you. There are no seats here. Everybody is standing. And tell me how Boreas died.
She kind of doesn't laugh out loud, but she holds back a laugh or like a smirk because she wants to say like a bitch, but it's not gonna say it out loud.
That would be counterproductive for the current endeavors.
Counterproductive. She is not the one to speak.
Do you want to roll a deception check to try to keep that off your face versus the 27 insight that Zabalu just rolled?
Bitch.
She could insight that Athlor has no fucking clue as he was not in control at the time.
Oh no.
I will lucky dice this once
okay,
just because a one sounds gross.
Nice.
Nice though.
But it's
Nice.
basically like I'm not gonna be the one to talk. Kind of like awkward face.
Okay. Do any of you wish to tell the story, or do you want to defer to Elnau or Untermaler?
Mantra wasn't there, and Athlor was not in control.
Okay. Elnau will go ahead and speak up. Boreas led an attack on my school. An attack during which students, non-combatants, civilians were all harmed. We defended ourselves and he died. That same smirk is on Zabalu's face. Could I get all of you to roll insight or perception for me? Either is fine.
Come on, man.
Bruh,
I'm getting
it's okay.
fucked.
It's okay.
Okay,
The good rolls come later. The good rolls come later.
I forgot to tell you that, and I'm going to go ahead and put them on blast for roasting me earlier. Willow popped into yesterday's stream to give you inspiration, failing to realize that you weren't on that stream. So I'm carrying that over. I am carrying that over to today. So you still have inspo.
Okay, let me pop that roll. I decided to refresh my whole character sheet because that's some cursed energy.
Some wild bad
There,
people.
I am
Okay.
perceiving.
Okay. That smirk is not like a I know more than you do or something. That smirk is a coping mechanism for obscuring the actual emotions of grief and rage. So whatever she's presenting is an absolute flattening of what she's actually feeling. Count yourselves fortunate that I'm not here to prosecute or cast judgment. Through impossible means. That's not what matters right now. War criminal and enemy of the gods or not. The question I asked was not why did he die? The question is, how did you kill my god? How did Boreas die? Do all of you want to defer?
I'm trying to remember. So we just hit him with a bunch of damage and then voided him, right? I don't remember what
Correct.
exactly magic we used.
You just blasted the shit out of him and then voided him.
Okay, yeah.
Don't like
Def-
any other man.
Deferring.
Okay.
Was Elno there? Yeah, I think so, right?
Yeah, Elnau was there.
Yeah.
And Elnau recounts. He was in a civilian area. My students, my assistants, my fellow warriors, and I battled him to the death with magic. What magic? Why does it matter? She shoots back. You don't seem to be interested. After all this time, you finally want to talk to us without threatening our lives. There's a reason you want to do this. You don't seem like a fan of wasting time. You don't strike me as a subtle type, High Priestess. So just ask us the question. Whatever is at the heart of this, just ask. The ground around Zabilu begins to frost over, and the wind whips harder around her. For a brief moment, a brief chilling moment, it reminds you of the Herald's presence. But whatever emotions you feel in your own hearts at this time and with your bodies are your own. The winds themselves are responding to the High Priestess in her agitated state. All right, then. Boreas is more than dead. A sacrilege has been committed against nature and the natural order and the gods of a magnitude that I've never even considered. I'm not the next priest king of Boreas. My destiny is to become the North Wind. But I can't because the North Wind is gone. So whatever you blasphemous, meddling mages have done goes beyond just discorporating him. Boreas is more gone than Arakura is gone. So, and I need to know exactly why. If I had my way, we would be declaring war on you right now, but wiser minds have prevailed.
And stronger than you have failed.
Some things are worth dying for. But that's not why I'm here. I need to know exactly what happened, because the mantle of the North Wind is gone. And that is the key to both of our futures.
I don't think we'll be able to bring him back or tell you where he's gone because we don't know the full extent of those details.
Imagine for a moment that you are amongst your peers, student Garnet Tosaka, and that they will understand whatever it is you have to say, and then explain it like that.
Well, a certain unique magic that is sort of anti-magic removed him from existence.
Watermelon, talk throughout the area. I see. She grits her teeth as she says this. Saparziku has no bond to love Ioth Academy, its people, or its mages. If we choose to hate you for what you've done, we do so with no reservations. But to stand and defend yourselves in battle, that we cannot begrudge. But if it is by your work that the mantle of the North Wind is lost, then the price of peace is that you amend this. Peace not only between our people and yours, but for the winds themselves and the elements.
Generate a new north wind.
Yes.
That will be difficult without the wellsprings.
Well, respectfully, isn't the wind's your realm of expertise, not ours?
Your sovereigns.
You broke it. Your magic undid it. We've demanded blood. We've demanded punishment. But we have heeded other songs and realized that these will not solve this problem. There is no room in this world for conflict between those who should be turned against our actual hated foes. But we will not suffer this wrong to have been dealt without amendment. We choose to place this burden on you, and it is right that you fix it.
Kind of is looking at Elle now, like, with a very subtle, like, is she serious? Is she BFFR? Is she fucking for real that we could do this right now?
Elnau says, Garnet's right. This isn't our purview. This should be your problem. But if this is the price of peace, I'm certain that the Academy can figure this out. If we are to undertake this, then you will not stand between us and this objective, and you will release to us the elemental gates that we rely on immediately. Neither of us will make any war on each other, and we will do our utmost to restore the mantle of the North Wind. She looks over at Untermaler, like, there, happy? I'm gonna roll a persuasion check for L now, and for Untermaler real quick, because he's speaking as well.
Mm.
21.
Nice.
13. She rolled a 3. Zabalou nods. Be grateful that you have wiser and gentler looking after you and speaking on your behalf. We accept. It was a long walk up to this windy precipice just for that conversation, but you seem to have been dismissed. Elnau is in no has no desire to stay here, so she's gonna like immediately turn around and just start leaving, expecting everyone else to go with her.
Yeah, follow right along.
She's kind
Can
of
I
like
insight check the retinue again to see how they feel about this?
Yeah, go ahead. Hmm, 12. You want to use your inspiration or anything?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, roll it.
10.
10. Okay. There's a lot of complicated emotions, and it's very difficult to get through all of that. Is there any observations that the group of you would like to make on your way back down and out through the city? Lines of inquiry, actions, anything else?
I guess as we're leaving, as we like exit the room or whatever, when Athor and Garnet catch up, Mason will turn to them and be like, "How do you feel about all that? Are you all right?"
They spoke a lot. They spoke a little on how those who are aligned against the Infernal should not be fighting each other.
Yeah.
I felt like perhaps we should have imposed a manner of restitution for their initial attack, if they feel so strongly about that. But I'm happy just to have the Academy restored, so I'll take what I can get and leave diplomatic vengeance for a time when it's better suited.
Yeah. Certainly worse outcomes this could have had, I think.
I
Towards
was
Garnet, yeah.
kind of surprised they didn't want to fight about it.
I was
Did it
really
seem?
hoping that they were gonna like square up to you, and then you'd be able to tell her that now she's alone, just like you, which is always a badass line. But maybe next time.
Well, I was just gonna offer to have her join him if she's so curious about void magic, but I don't think she'd enjoy the trip.
Who knows? Is it now in earshot?
She can be.
Yes. Is it possible to retrieve that manner of concept from the void? Can information of that nature be fully destroyed? Or would we have to create a new one?
A mantle? I don't even know if a mantle is physical or not. And
Yeah.
it sounds like she wants a mantle given to her, and don't we all? But I guess this is what we gotta do to get our springs back, so.
Yeah, like, is it just a mantle because people believe it is? Or is it a metaphysical reality that is gone or missing? Can we make that?
Seems closer to the latter based off of their, how they were talking about it.
Could I insight check to see is she more pissed about Boreas dying, or is she more pissed that she's not gonna get the mantle?
Yeah,
Because
roll an insight check, please. She is more pissed about Boreas dying.
oh darn.
Like, I wanted to hate you I want to hate you more real bad. All right. With yet another nigh impossible task added to this goddamn academy's list of problems, we're going to go ahead and leave our adventure here and hop on over to detention. We will see you there, folks.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, it's super borked. I didn't do any of the stuff I was supposed to do. Yep. Well done. And the audio isn't picking up the right thing. Okay, so I'm gonna fix the audio first.
Okay.
All right, cool. Now I'm gonna go back to main, then I'm gonna fix the cameras, and then we'll do our show. Yay! It is detention time here on episode 119 of Book of Dawn Ioth Academy. Does anyone feel like doing the recap?
Oh, crikey, what happened today?
There's a lot of lore. A lot of
Do
lore
the
drop.
recap.
Yeah,
Get
go
it.
for it.
Take a stab at it. On episode 119 of Ioth Academy, we were hot-tailing it back to the academy to warn Elnau about the crows going off as an omen from Uzul. And Garnet gave up the information about Lurkale as well and persuaded Elnau to I guess host Lurkale at the academy to teach Garnet. I was like, if I say no, you're probably gonna do it anyway, so might as well try to help you.
We are gonna get her heading necromancy one way or another. We're gonna will it into existence.
Then we met with the sage to get info on Lola Waxhackle. Saw a bunch of memories of hers and learned that the Herald is the one that told Lola about Naomi, and kind of still some questions there, but it's the Herald's doing. There's still one more hag in that coven. We killed one, or I guess Garnet killed one in year 1 and then killed Lola, so there's still one more. Might be at the academy, might not be, who knows. They're doing a search and we'll see. Then we got informed that school is in fact still happening and finals are coming up, so that's kind of cringe actually. Rather just save the world and stuff, but no, gotta do some studying. Ben found out that A bunch of crazy shit's going on in the world. Iron Empire is fucking shit up. Stone Abbey is actively getting screwed up, dying, wants to go try to help and save that. Figured out that volcano went off in the Orin tribe lands, which casualties were pretty minimal, but still was it an omen or a response, perhaps. Figured out that Henan might have a little crush on Athalor, potentially. So, we'll see what happens with that. Also got a message from Sapar Ziku, which Untermaler has been trying to resolve things, but eventually the Sapar Zikuians, that's probably not the right word, but they the vibe there shifted from being very angry and mad to grief. Wanted to meet with Athlor and Garnet and the Academy. Which we did that first. Garnet had a cute little date with Cyrus where they were, making out for a while, and just like, yeah, let's just exist within this. This is nice. So they had a good time. Then we finally went to Sapar Ziku, or we met with some Goliaths there, which were very, very intimidating. But Garnet and Elnau were not intimidated, but they wanted the Academy to restore the North Wind in some way, since Boreas was very avoided. They were like, he's gone. How the fuck did you kill him? How'd he die? And we're very kind of pressed about that. And things seemed to have ended when they're like, yeah, okay, we'll call things okay, call things even if you restore the North Wind. And then we're like, all right, see ya. Kick this out.
Yeah,
that's all that happened. Yeah.
Pretty much that. Go ahead and add an inspiration to your sheet. And since you just did the recap, I'll go ahead and start Stars and Wishes with legs.
Yeah, I got a question before. Is that original art for the High Priestess? It looks
No, that's art that I own. Style. That's art that I own from purchases. It's not commissioned, unfortunately.
She is a bad bitch, though.
I've been sitting on that character for a while.
Which is cool.
Yeah. I was like, is that Mama Shimada? Looks a bit like us now. Yeah. Hey, I dig it. This little cabal of icy women was fun to be introduced to them. I think my star has got to be there, like the Darina and Renobi, like the school gossip was very fun. I dig that. So that was really cool. Wish I want this bad bitch to come to the academy and get crowned with the mantle of the North Wind. Because I assume we're probably gonna make like some kind of localized array or something. We're gonna high magic our way into this bad boy, and like you gotta come over and we'll make you powerful. Then we're gonna kick you out. Like, yeah, you're welcome. Later.
11. What about you?
I thought it was very fun tension between everybody at the end of just everyone's got their guns like sort of metaphorically pointed at each other, but it's good character growth to just shut the fuck up and let the peace handlers handle peace, but interesting standoff there.
What the fuck challenge? Difficulty impossible.
And Wish, I wish I said he died like a bitch, but like
what magic? Kids magic.
Shit you wouldn't get, but I could show you and give you a example if you want. It's what I wish I said. But trying to get our springs back. I don't know how these bitches think we're gonna get a North Wind though, so I wish I knew how to, wind it up for them, but I also think she should just do it herself if she wants the mantle. Because if we create the North Wind and we create this mantle, why don't we just fucking keep it? But that's just me. I don't know how this goes.
Archmage and North Wind.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. That would be
up some wind for him.
Be fucking iconic. Just fucking kill the North Wind, then take his spot.
It's that's the beauty about tabletop RPGs. You can just decide you're gonna do that, and then
sprinkle.
All right, Rowan, Stars and Wishes.
I think stars are just it is nice, with how much we are, being involved in the world and politics stuff, to just have nice little school moments. So things like, Garden State with Cyrus, the whole teasing Athlor about the Henan business, that's fun. Like moments like that still. Wish, definitely want to try to help Stone Abbey in some tangible way, even if it like ultimately fails, but like want to try to, at least make some effort with, either like Sven and Mason and the party if they're down to help as well. But yeah, I'll do something there.
I'm just gonna have to make up a bunch of Stone Abbey NPCs now. Unlucky.
That's that's the job. That's the job that comes with the job. So the reason that Ariana went to Irelek instead of that she was pulled and ended up going to Irelek is because she is inherently suited, due to the nature of her origin and the unique nature of her powers, to inherit a earth mantle. Whether that be the mantle of a Titan or the mantle of Arakura, Sovereign of Stone, she sort of has this innate resonance with that. And that's what she's studying to do at Irelek. Mantle of Power is almost like, trying to think of a good fiction equivalent that we might be familiar with. Essentially, somebody else is going to become the North Wind, right? And that person is not automatically going to be, oh, now you're a Titan. You're exactly like Boreas, because Boreas had these attributes and these powers, and he's dead. But under normal circumstances, a subset of his powers, abilities, and responsibilities would survive, and someone else could inherit those. The most well-known mantles of power are those wielded by the Huldra Queens. This ballet that you're going to be going to is the story of that, how the 4 Huldra Queens danced with the spirits, and then each of them received a mantle of one of the 4 seasons. And that is a set of powers and transformations that if they die, someone else inherits that power. So you might be like whatever character you are, and this mantle of power is not like, oh, now you're a level 20 druid. It's like, no, you're still whoever you were before. Like Garnet, if you stole the mantle of the North Wind, you would still have your character in your character sheet, but then there'd be all this extra stuff layered on top of that.
So how do you take a mantle? You just kill the other one?
When you kill that person, then the mantle becomes sort of free. In most cases, the terms for inheritance are different for each one. And the mantle of the Northwind has never been passed down before. But apparently the high priestess of Boreas believes that she should have been able to take up that mantle. Why she believes that is unknown. Because, like, when Arakura died, nobody knew sovereigns could die until that happened. So that's not a documented phenomenon. Nobody knows the rules for, can somebody else just inherit the mantle of the Sovereign of Stone? Nobody knows that. Not a lot of Titans have died more recently than ever before. So these aren't things that are like super well understood. It is known how it works, or at least the Huldra know how their mantles of power, the mantles of the seasons, work. They have their own specific set of rules. There are four queens, one for each of the seasons, and there's one king. And that one king wields the combined power of the entire valley. That is why the Huldra have not been conquered, because they have these demigods protecting them, where if you try to invade them, the king turns the whole land against you. Originally, it was the Winter King. The Winter King died, and so now there's a Spring King. And when he dies, the mantle will transform again, and another person will inherit that title. The Huldra don't make it public how that works, but they do have a system for that, and it does include inheritance. So now that I think of it, that might be good people to talk to.
I'm probably going to learn a little bit about it during that ballet as well.
Mm-hmm.
But creating mantle is super unknown, so how are they like, all right, you guys figure it out. Like, how do we just create a fucking mantle of something we don't know?
That's a good question. Sapraziku does not have a solution. They're like, you're the super mages. You figure it out.
Oh.
Yeah. So what we got to do is while we're figuring this out, we have to reinforce our wells in case we fuck it up.
Yeah, how did they disable that again? Because I'm not, still don't get how the wells. How did they disable that?
So the 3 surviving Titans of the Wind. So the 4 winds, everything in Anakra is 4, right? And Boreas, the North Wind, was associated, in addition with the element of air, also with the element of water. The West Wind is also associated. No, I think the South. Yeah, the South Wind is also associated with fire, so on and so forth. So the 3 surviving winds went through the underworld, because your gates go to the underworld, the elemental wellsprings which are in the underworld. They went to the other side of those gates, and each wind sealed off the element that they are most aligned with. But your gate to the plane of water stayed open because the North Wind is dead and can't block it. So these 3 like demigod titans they imposed magic on the other side, and because they are elemental gods, their control over the underworld is powerful enough to override Ioth Academy tapping into it. So they blocked it from the other side. As part of this deal, they're going to release those before you deliver.
So did Sapaziku have a change of heart because we went into the Cupbearer season and we had like the Death Festival and we're like, oh, I'm sad now?
No, somebody intervened on your behalf.
Hmm.
You haven't left yet. You haven't left the city yet. We left you off still inside the city. So if that's something that you wish to investigate, they've alluded to it, but they have not talked about it.
Wiser voices.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. I feel like it's worth figuring out.
Oh, also, here's a title for the second episode, but we can also say that Wind Waker would be a good one.
I just kept thinking about Garnet is Athalor's mom. Make it canon.
So
Make it canon.
what I didn't say is, are you also Lerkele's mom? She wasn't real and now she is?
Is Garnet the mommy?
I am mommy. I have 2 children, apparently.
Elna, when I had you roll an insight check, it's because Elna was thinking that, but under no circumstances was she going to say that.
Yeah.
What can my daughter teach me?
Like not being real is different than not existing, though, and like the Lurkele between Athalor
it's-
difference.
Right? It's very, very strange. It's like metaphysics.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
So surprised she was so chill about the Lurkele. Didn't really ask questions and didn't, I don't know, really push back. It was kind of like, okay.
Well, here's the thing. What would you have done? Like, I think she's right, and I think she knows she's right, that if she said no, you'd still figure out a way to do it. You have access to the plane of shadows. You have access to artifacts. You would make it happen somehow.
Yep.
It makes way more sense for her to go along with it and then snoop when she's on the inside, right? Like, by bringing Lerkele into the house, even though there's a risk of a security breach, she can still then do stuff to like figure out more and learn more and keep you safe that way. She's not done asking questions. She's just like, look, if it's a question between do this behind my back or do this in my house, I'd rather you drink with your friends as an underage in my house than out
That's
in
what I
the
was
middle of
thinking.
the woods, right?
I don't like you smoking blunts, but you will do it at the house where I can watch you do it.
Exactly. That's totally the vibe. That's 100% the vibe.
Did
Oh,
Lurkele
yeah.
ever give any like kind of indication to whether she would want to come into Ioth Academy or no? I don't remember.
She did not. I think she specifically said she did not want to go in there, and she wanted to train in the shadow plane, which Garnet did not want to do because creepy jester and other fucking creepy things. And yeah, she's very much on the vibe of like she knows Lurkele is gonna betray her, but at least she knows it's gonna happen, so it doesn't feel as bad. But that doesn't mean she's gonna go into the shadow plane for this to happen. She at least wants a fighting chance, because it takes like 10 minutes to make a fucking portal out of there. So if shit hits the fan, she'll be like, hold on, I fucking am trying to leave, can't call for help. Let me cook.
I think Lurkler's excuse when you guys were talking before was that Elnau wouldn't be overly welcoming, or that she insisted it would be like rude. So she's gonna need a new excuse now.
Yeah, now that's changed.
Mom
I think
said
she's
it's cool,
cooking
you can
something.
sleep over.
She sounded like she was cooking something way deeper because she was very insistent on like meeting in the shadow plane and like doing it there, which I thought was odd. But we'll cross that bridge of where she actually is cool with doing it.
I feel like from Lurklay's POV that like makes sense. It's like there's a whole academy that like probably wouldn't be chill with you, so might as well do it in your comfort zone, your comfort territory.
She's stronger there. Her magic is stronger there. Like
Mhm.
she's less likely to, even if she gets jumped, she's more likely to be able to deal with it there.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see like if she refuses to go to the academy, how Garnet is just gonna make do with that
Mm-hmm.
and train outside. And like, is she gonna be supervised? Are they like, okay, here's your room, have fun, here are the keys, here's your classroom, do your thing, and then we don't actually have to be there. So the rules.
Mm-hmm.
What are the rules?
I thought you could do some Zoom e-learning.
What's
I'm
up,
looking
everybody? It's Miss Lurkalay, and in today's educational shadow stream, we're talking about illusion magic. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Tier 3 can get a zone of sending to contact me directly.
Oh, shit.
The second that the plan was kind of laid out that we were going to chat to Morco in Dream, I was like, that fucker, the Herald, is definitely going to turn up there. We're going to have an Ace Attorney persuade off with the Herald and Morco in the middle.
Dude, I had the biggest big dick move. If they were gonna start fighting, I was gonna start using my Ioth cards. I had some shit brewing if they wanted to throw down.
Do
but-
I need to have, so next episode, aside from like doing any sleuthing you want to do in Saparziku, finals, going to the freaking ballet, like a lot of, again, when I said that I had some wild shit for today's session, what I meant was school.
Oh,
actually doing homework. I was being
That's
somewhat
the most wild
facetious.
thing.
I know, right?
Pushing the boat out.
But like, do I need to? Do you thirst for blood? Do I need to put some opportunities for violence in front of you?
Some Saparziku red shirts.
Garnet craves blood.
Well, I was just thinking, like, what about classes like war magic or whatever? Don't you think they'd want like a physical demonstration instead of here write down a multiple choice on war? Like,
Are we
I don't know.
doing war magic this year?
I thought
Everyone's
I don't know
kind
what
of
our
doing
fucking-
more magic now.
True.
Your classes this year, I did pull up the curriculum and then I closed it because I was searching for something else because
I think
greatest-
Arcane Theories improves numerology, spell matrices, some other shit, and then our elective.
World Studies. World Studies is not an elective. History and Tactics of Battle and Warfare is an elective, but everyone's taking World Studies right now.
Oh, Mason, you've been accidentally studying this entire time.
What the
World
fuck?
Studies.
No,
we
it's
got you.
educational.
To avoid. Fuck.
Wait, so we're not gonna have our field trips in time for the year to end then?
Yeah, well, now if they get the gates open again, if they get the well springs open again, that's back on the table. Because it means the academy is going to have more magical power to like pull the plug on a field trip if it goes wrong.
I'm gonna go
Also,
see my
those-
genie.
Those things can probably pull off a gate spell a lot more easily.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Like the academy
Like,
uses
Yo
that
Sage,
for.
You want a fucking.
Remember when Garnet, when you were like, "Can we just teleport in Aros's army?" The answer was, "We could if the gates were working."
Oh,
That's like large scale stuff that they can do with access to that power.
Yeah, and it'll probably also allow Mason to cook up a plan for Stone Abbey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Even if it's just a rescue mission. Inaros is your closest person in the field. All of you know powerful people who you could ask for help or information. But I mean, Garnet's position of we can't be everywhere at once is also something to consider. Because if Naramu falls, then the forces of the Infernals get that much closer to all of y'all and your lovely little home.
Well, Athalor's down to do more Naramu stuff. That was his original baby child with the
Mhm.
rescue.
Mm-hmm.
If he has
It
to
is-
choose, it's gonna be Naramu.
It is getting a little bit overwhelming to think about 1,000 different objectives that we're having with now Stone Abbey and now Naramu and now Zabarziku and now the Crows and then the blah blah blah. So I'm geopolitically like even my character is just fucking bogged. So I'll like follow the party, but I can't. I don't know what the fuck's going on half the time. Everyone's dying.
I mean, honestly, one of the themes is that you can't solve everything. Like, you just can't be everywhere and you can't solve everything at once. And to a certain degree, you're going to have to pick your battles. We now have a resolution on the line for the Sapraziku plot line. The Morko abduction is a resolution on the line for the Fairy Games plot line. So I'm working on trying to tie some of these threads up. But as other things happen, don't assume that your characters have to solve everything. The world is a big place and lots of stuff is going on. And if you decide you want to solve everything, then, you know, good luck. We can try that. But as the Dungeon Master, I don't expect you to.
I think we've got beef with every single Infernal now as well.
Mhm.
Well, now that we've got Teleback on the go.
Every single one? Oh, shit.
I mean, Imago kind of put himself on the back burner. I think it was just lurking. I think he fucked with us in the Shadow Realm.
You know, actually, on that note, Lemon, what are each of your characters' like main goals right now? What is the thing that matters to you? With all of this noise and all of these millions of things going on, what is the thing that you and your character like care about?
You guys first. I need to think.
Yeah, oh, go ahead.
Athel's on his geopolitics bent. He's like retreading how to rise steps of like the journey before the return, finding allies. Like Naramu was a means to an end for that. Stone Abbey could be a means to an end. He does have like empathy to lead these missions and like caring, but also there are these secondary objectives of currying like geopolitical favor through these anti-infernal missions. So a lot of it is Athalor like thinking politically.
Well, I think for Mason, I mean, the Stone Abbey thing is most. I know there's a lot of things going on, but Stone Abbey thing is probably most intriguing. It's just also along the line of like just helping the world, saving lives, shit like that. Which obviously some of these other plot lines, it does kind of, I don't know, I guess go along with that, but yeah.
I guess on my end, I mostly care about the Herald and the Alex Naomi situation because they're just like actively fucking with us all the time, and now they're sending assassins after people Garnet cares about, and would like to deal with that ASAP. So if the Faceless don't go after someone else, since that seems like a more like imminent threat. But I know there's the whole Wellspring thing, which was an important resource we need to get back. So that became like a big priority in terms of all these nations dying around us. It's kind of their problem right now. Like they're not exactly coming to help us when we had the Knights of Terra Nimbus fucking us up. So it's kind of like self-preservation mode of like, let's focus on the people trying to kill us before mask yourself before you mask the person next to you type of airplane crash. So it's not like she doesn't care, it's just, look, if we care about too many things and we care about nothing at all very well. And Then the fucking Fae is like annoying because they've been just constantly
Since
up our
day
ass.
one, they've been annoying.
And she's very much like, can we just kill this goddamn bear or whatever he is already? But that's taken a while. And that's like maybe third priority of like, let's get the Fae out of the bad Fae out of the school. And yeah, those three priorities, and then the rest, pretty whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. I just think Mantra is like always down to just like help with what his friends are prioritizing and stuff too. That will always like just have some inherent value just because it's important to them. But I guess it's also like not like an issue, but just also like the rebuilding of Gilden Verge and also the Amago Mirror stuff is like has been thinking about, but it's not an active pressing issue.
And where on the priority list for each of these characters is graduating?
Mantra's give a fuck about graduating, actually.
That's crazy.
Not a single one. Like maybe like a little bit, but it's definitely not a priority.
It's a little bit nepo baby, but Athlor doesn't really care. Like it feels like for both Athlor and Garnet, like they're not looking for postgraduate jobs. They're kind of made. And like they're as like at least in Athlor's case, like he's accumulating power at his own pace, but he's more concerned with like his position in the world and in like a political sphere that the academy can't dictate. Like graduating won't bring him the allies he needs for stability in Underood.
Mm-hmm.
So getting a piece of paper from the academy that says he's a good mage is not important in his culture, and it's not really important to him.
Yeah, for me, it's I think it's more about she feels like she should be in like a gifted kids class. Like she has all these super high level spells, and she's like, "Oh, I gotta learn about cantrips, some baby shit."
Killed a couple of gods and screwed the low level curve.
But she still wants to be like number one in grades because she still wants to excel in magic and like, but more for like a power trip reason rather than I want summa cum laude on my fucking degree. It's like the more I know, the more I can do, and I think that's why she's really motivated to do Lurkale lessons because she wouldn't be she knows this bitch is gonna betray her and do something bad, but if she can at least try to get her on her side and try to benefit and get knowledge from her before whatever she wants to do happens, then that's sort of like the pro con risk of the exchange there.
Let me hit you with one more question. Perhaps the least fair question of the night before we wrap up. What would it take for your character to feel like they'd won?
Oh, that's a big one.
Ooh, take the North Wind Mantle. Be funny as fuck. But that's more. I think that's more of an Elnell win. I'll let her have that win.
But like, at what point do you feel like you've made it? This is the rest of your life now. You're not life and death. You like maybe not necessarily you can rest, but like that you're settled. You're good. You've done the things that you had to do, and now you can just live your life.
When the world's not actively in danger or threatened by infernal forces or presences.
Okay, so never.
Which is,
Noted.
never, but yeah.
When everything is good and no one dies and there's a rainbow.
I mean, basically. So yeah, literally never. Always more work to do.
It's a completely valid answer.
Yeah.
I think that Athel...
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
Oh, you.
Oh, okay. I think that Athelor would be when like he feels like Vijaya accepts him as the new commander of Underood. Even if like the rest of the world is kind of burning a little bit, Athelor feels like he has in his nature the capacity to protect those that he cares about, and he could offer them refuge within Underood. So for Athelor, he definitely feels like his end game is being able to stay there and protect those that he cares about.
as well as
So
his people.
Mantra's good ending is the adventure continues. Athalor's good ending is being the Cothrmori Moor in like a established, successful, powerful position, right?
Yes.
What about Garnet? What does
Garnet's
Garnet
a career bitch.
What does Garnet feel like her good ending is? Not necessarily the end of your story, but again, like your good epilogue.
I don't know, because I think that's the theme, is that she'll do all the accomplished things but will never feel like she's won. So like the probably immediate thing will be like dealing with the Herald and Alex. I think besting her rival there would be the win, but then it wouldn't end there. Then it'd be like, okay, then we got to deal with this other Inferno. We got to deal with the Serpent. Okay, now we got to deal with Uzul, and now we got to kill all these Infernals, and then like the cycle goes on of I gotta kill all the hags, gotta kill the Fae invading the city and whatever. So probably the immediate win would be against Alex and the Herald, because they're the ones constantly challenging her, and probably the only ones to make her. I think that's the thing, is they're the only ones that make her feel weak. And while as all the others, she feels like she can be, and like she could figure it out, but against Alex and the Herald, those are the ones that make her feel like shit. So that would be the ultimate win, is killing them.
So it's not about her like becoming the Archmage or becoming the Priest King or becoming like the Shadow Wizard Money Gang.
Shadow Wizard Money Gang.
None of those are
Maybe...
like the I've made it, I've arrived. All those are like, oh good, now I can kill the Infernals with this. It all means to an end.
Yeah. I guess like the very distant happy ending would be like, yeah, the queen of whatever, of Brontha or Archmage or whatever makes sense in that future, but the big win is pissing off people who've pissed you off, or beating people who have pissed you off. That's the sort of the maturity of the age that we're at right now.
Yeah.
In her 20s, she'd be like, oh, a real career. That sounds pretty good. Right now, it's my dad could beat up your dad type of mode. Like,
oh man,
I had one.
All those like, if I had one, like, those goals of being Archmage and of being Priest King are much more realistic than killing all the Infernals.
Well, that's the reality, but that's not what she thinks.
I'm not willing to settle yet. Maybe if I get to 20 and I've killed like no Infernals, then I'll settle for being the Priest King.
Cool. Anything else, team?
Nope.
All right. More on the Alex and Naomi plot next time, I promise. And in fact, it might be in places that you don't even suspect yet that will come to light.
In the ballet.
Damn it. Foiled. Thank you all for joining us. We will see you next time.
Bye.